All right, hello, welcome back to Dear Maya. We are here at Creator Studios with another episode. Today's topic is mental health and basically the lack of emphasis on mental health in our community. So I'm here with three guests. If y'all can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Woods.
Hi everyone, my name is Aaliyah Cannon.
Hello, my name is Ro.
Alrighty. So basically, my bad, y'all. Today we're gonna start off just like what is your definition of mental health? Like, how do you view mental health, and how do you think society views mental health?
When I think about mental health, I think about self-love because they go hand in hand to me. And it's kind of just learning more about yourself, being self-aware, and how you want to grow as a person, like spiritually, physically, and mentally. I feel like all of that ties into your mental health because if you don't eat right, it's going to affect your mental.
Yeah.
If you're drinking or smoking too much, it's going to affect your mental. So it's kind of like a holistic experience when it comes to mental health. And when it comes to how society views mental health, I feel like it's definitely changing over the course of the past few years.
Right.
But I feel like that stigma of discussing mental health or dealing with mental health still has that weak stigma tied to it, and like just constantly trying to dismantle that, especially in our African American community, especially for our Black women, because we're taught to be strong enough so much, and it's like no.
I think for me, mental health just revolves around routine. Like you kind of really hit on a lot of the points, but I think mental health is just routine, like you said, how you're taking care of your body, how you're taking care of your mind, how your day-to-day routine, for lack of better words, just affects everything that goes on. I know for me, like if I don't start the day off doing something that's dedicated to me and what I want to do, the whole day's thrown. Like if I get up and I'm like, I gotta, like, of course we all gotta go to work and stuff like that, but the first thing on my mind is work. I gotta do this for this person, I gotta do this for that person. Where do you fit in? Like, it's really important to just devote that upon the wake up. What can I do for me? Then I'm starting my day for
Right.
When I think about mental health, I would like to think about the word to observe but not to absorb. And the reason why I say that is because when people get out in the real world, we often forget that we're constantly looking and perceiving things that are outside of our influence. And sometimes we can have a conversation with somebody that's very negative, and those thoughts can seed in our mind and plant seeds of deceit and doubt. When I think about the word psyche, which means soul, I can actualize that our mind is really our soul. And I say that because when you think about the amalgamation of spirit, when you're judged at a gate or you're judged on a scale, whichever you believe, no matter how you look at it, your soul is the amalgamation of your mind. If my mind has seen everything I've ever done, even before I came here and sat on this table, my mind knew that I was going to do it. That is what a mind-soul connection is. And when we delude ourselves of that connection, we do not see how, like my constituents right here were talking about, drinking and smoking, those things can go and affect your mind. They disturb your mind, which is disturbing your soul. When you're around certain stimuli and around certain things, certain movies, certain TV shows, whether you realize it or not, your brain cannot divert from the violence that you look at. Your brain cannot defer from the violence that you're listening to. All those things, whether you realize it or not, are poisoning your soul, which is your mind. And we must be very careful about that in the age that is very hyper-violent and hypersexual towards us and marketed towards us as people. There is nothing wrong with being a free-spirited person because the flesh is an illusion. We're mental beings. But when you get lost in that illusion, your mental health suffers.
Can I get an amen?
It's giving.
So as you can see, we have three very intellectual people. I love speaking to these people, and we have a good conversation for y'all coming up.
Yes.
I don't really know how I can follow up off that, then. I don't. Because I was gonna get my definition. I was like, I think he got it.
He wrapped it all up.
He got it. So I kind of want to start because I had an episode about breaking generational curses and trauma, and I feel like a lot of it does start when you are a child. like, you know, how you process things, how you take care of your mental health, and basically, like you said, mental health has always been like a taboo topic up until recently. So, as a child, especially in our childhood, I think we can all agree that mental health wasn't really a thing. Like, the discussion of mental health and the importance of mental health wasn't really a thing. So, how do you think that affects children going into like their teenage years and into their adult years?
I like to tap into a lot of what Daniel was saying too. I think what you consume consumes you. I know for me, like I felt a lot of things at a younger age that I had no clue what it was until I got older. And it was like I was feeling things and going through things, and it was always just, you know, pray about it or go
Right.
confide in something else, or like therapy and all that stuff. It just wasn't a thing when, you know, we're all on the same age when we were younger. So it's like I went to TV and books and different things like that to learn and see if I can relate to what other people are going through. And I was self-diagnosing very young because I was like, I need a reason as to why I feel this way, or I want this to have a name so that way I can feel like I'm being understood or whatever. I just needed something, a label for something. There we go. And like I said, I went to
Just like you could relate to somebody.
yeah, because when you're young and you just, everybody's walking around happy and stuff, and as soon as you wake up, you're just like, again, I needed an answer as to why I never wanted to exist. It was just like, I'm here because I know I have to be.
Right.
So,
I think so I just take it back to, we think something is normal until we're exposed to something different. And I think especially in our community, the way we're brought up, it's normal. Our friends are going through the same thing. Their parents tell them the same thing. What happened in my house, stay in my house. You feel me? Getting whooped is a little bit different. Sometimes we actually be out here getting beat, but we put the word whooping
Oh,
on
it's
it.
normal because my parents went through it and their parents went through it, so it has to.
So we're just going down a line of generational trauma, and I think going and getting my education was the best thing I ever did, not because of what happened in the classroom, but because I got to be self-aware. I got to learn that the behaviors that I learned while growing up and becoming the woman I am, they weren't right. They were wrong. They weren't normal. So then you have to go and forget and unlearn all of that toxic behavior before you can take in the new.
That's a process.
And then be like, woo, baby, shout. And I remember when I first wanted to take a test to get diagnosed. It's called the ASICS test. And if you get a score of 4 or higher, there's 10 questions, then it's statistically proven like you really shouldn't be successful. You're gonna have some types of complications. And my therapist was like, Aaliyah, you're good at taking tests. I was like, well, thank you. She's like, no, this ain't good. She said, you got a 10 out of 10. I said, whoa. She said, you're a statistical phenomenon. And it's just like, the things we go through, we think they're so normal and they're not. And if we start changing that narrative and make our people aware that, no, this isn't okay. No, that's abuse. No, that's neglect. No, that's mental abuse. Then like we can kind of start to dismantle that whole stigma.
Right.
Another thing that I'd like to add is that I feel like children have issues expressing themselves because everybody wants to be children. And the reason why I say that is because even Christ says, be like the little children because they are the best stewards of heaven. And then when you get into Taoism, Lao Tzu talks about how children are the ones that have the naivety to see the true works of nature. When we think about adulthood and what people doing all the freaknik parties, the sipping paint things or that, those are actually childhood behaviors and activities.
We definitely know.
That we are making for adult spaces because being an adult is wanting to connect to that inner child. Every time we see celebrities and things get rich, all they do is buy adult toys. When we look at movies and things like that, there's so many movies about an adult having the chance to swap back to their younger selves. We oftentimes shut kids up and don't let children speak because they see the truth. And we are not ready for the truth, so we shut the children up.
Ooh.
that's shitty.
That's it. That's the one.
That is the one.
No, I feel like it's on, like, you know how people be like, stop acting childish, you're doing like, it's my favorite thing to do. One thing about me, I'm gonna embrace my inner
I
child.
live in my inner child.
Like, my friends talk about it. Like, I'm the one who wants to watch princess movies or all the old Disney movies. I want to go frolic around in the, not frolic.
I understand that. No, it's funny you say that because, like, I feel like what has helped a lot is staying in an inner child. Like, I post it all the time. Don't let your inner child go. Like, I know a lot of people, it's hard for them to do that because their inner child went through some shit. Like, as a child, went through some shit.
Yeah.
Me, same shit. Everything I was bullied for, criticized for, made to feel bad for about myself is the same thing that people love about me to this very day. Like, everything I put out as content is shit that people used to torture me over when I was a kid. I won't let that go. Because there's kids out there that I mentor, that I work with, that love that shit. Like, when I go to work, I'm 12 again. Like, I'm here. Talk to me. Like, we're on the same. Kids need that.
No, definitely. Like, I feel like growing up a little bit and like in my later teen years and stuff, I did kind of suppress a little bit of like my inner child because, you know, it's like, grow up.
Yeah.
Do it like you're childish. And I've kind of always been told I was childish, but not. Like, I'm just goofy and I like to recite movie quotes and be dramatic, and that's like my inner child. That's what I always wanted to, like, or loved to do when I was younger. And when I got older, it's kind of like, you need to grow up, you need to, and I did kind of suppress that. But then when I started to bring that back out of me, I saw like a difference in how I felt about myself and how I felt just about my outlook on the world was kind of different too when I started embracing her again, like my inner child. So,
And here's the thing, I think that we go back to those ways after missing them for so long because we always have to grow up too early.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't get to embrace our inner child when we're children. We have to wait till we get older and have the opportunity to embrace it because life throws so many things at us at a young age. Like, the oldest sibling, you a parent. You out here in the streets, like, and I think when it comes to embracing your inner child, that's why I really like therapy, because therapy to me is me talking with my inner child and kind of like helping her work through her emotions so that we can both be happy, because until she's happy, we're not going to be happy. We're not going to be whole.
So you go resolve those issues with her.
The older.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I was the youngest, so I looked at, youngest on my mom's, oldest on my dad, but I grew up in a house full of 10, the youngest one. So it's like I got to see everybody jump off the porch and do all that other stuff. Like I got to sit and be like, damn, I want to get older, I want to grow up too. I had to have a friend in myself because they were all older and graduating high school, and then it was just me. So it was like I had to that's why I don't like being alone, I guess, because I don't know how to do that properly. And that's why I tell kids too, like, to just be okay with who you are. Be a friend to yourself first, because if you're not a friend to yourself first, everything else that you're going to absorb in the outside world is manipulation. They're going to change you. They're going to build you into what they want to be. So it's like,
you need to make sure you have
you need to make sure you're good in yourself before you do anything else. That's why it's like I hate hearing those stories how people had, like, the older siblings had to raise their younger siblings, because I'm like, now y'all got to redo all this root work.
Especially being the older sister.
Yes.
It's definitely a challenge, and it definitely was a push to grow up a lot faster than what we should have. And just being the oldest girl, I see TikToks all the time, like this, and this. And, I know you're the oldest girl in the family. Like, if you relate to this, and this, I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I'm glad y'all know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy being the older sibling, and not even just responsibility-wise. It's just kind of like you were the guinea pig.
The test dummy.
Yeah.
And it's just like so mentally draining. And then I think to grow up and realize, like, dang, I did all of this. That's how I kind of go at the rest of my relationships, and I've had to get better at, like, I'm a caring person. I want to take care of people. I want to do everything.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you straight. And it's like, no, I can't do that. I'm not your mom.
Right. Automatically taking over the responsibility, making sure everything is taken care of, everybody's happy. That's draining within itself, having that mindset. So to break away from that, it's relieving, but then again, at the same time, it's almost like you feel guilty a little bit. You're like, you go back and forth, it's a battle.
And to alleviate that type of stress, I would say that we need community, because when you think about why children have so many problems, especially in the westernized sphere of influence, in Switzerland, kids don't go to kindergarten until they're 7 years old. Now, we put our children in school very early. When you think about K through 12 education, depending on the parents' work schedule, for those like formative years of their lives, some kids statistically spend more time with a teacher than they do their own mother and father. Depending on how far away and spread your family is, you might not get to see grandma every year. You might not get to see grandpa every year. The family structure is so disabled that there is not a lot of pouring into children today. A lot of people put their children in front of laptops. There's nothing wrong with that, because I understand everybody needs a break. But that stimulation can never replace human stimulation. We give our children toys and things like that, which is good because it cognitively develops their mind to play and to be creative. But at the end of the day, they should also be playing with their family members. And when we desocialize kids so early and we put them as individuals by themselves, they don't see a reflection of themselves in others. And then they start to seclude themselves from others. They stop talking to their family because they might not, yes, we're family, but in a child's mind, are you my family? I know that was something I dealt with a lot because I had a lot of cousins or whatnot, but I really didn't know them. And it was very strange to try to build a relationship when I really don't know you, I don't know who you are. Family it's a word, it's an English word, but family is just friendship. And when I think about how a child is born into a world, a child is born into this world with personality. So it's actually on the family to get to know that child's personality. When I was talking to my mom one day, I realized that God chose my mother to give birth to me. My mom was my first friend. She is my mother, but foremost, she is my first friend because that was the first soul that I met. We're soulmates. Friendships, our language is nautical. So when you realize our language is nautical, we traverse on this life together. So a lot of people look at their kids as a steward or something beneath them, when really our children, and then it's we're together, we're friends, we're all equal in the eyes of God, and we're going on this journey. If more people would treat their children like a friend, and in an adult setting, you can have those adult boundaries, but you need friendship and camaraderie in your home. If a home without friendship is nothing.
Do you feel like, because you said it's the family job to learn the child's personality, do you feel like a lot of families, they try to make their child's personality rather than learn it?
A lot of parents project. Honestly, just being in Kentucky is what you call, I forget the statistical word for it, but there's an infrastructure base here where you have star high school athletes that go to a local college, they produce money for the local college, then they get a local woman pregnant, him and that local woman raise a kid in that same area, then the man projects his dreams of sports on the kid, and that kid follows down the same footsteps. And it's a perpetual cycle over and over and over again. You have a lot of young black boys that are forced to play all these sports that don't pan out, and then they end up 18, 19 years old, literally don't know themselves, don't know who they are, don't have no transferable skills. And then honestly, a lot of hoopers and football players start selling weed because they only know hustle. And that's the other problem with our children. We only hustle culture.
Hustle culture is toxic, but that's another episode.
But it starts on around as fuck.
Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about it.
Are you going live at 6:20?
Yeah, he said we did 6. But alright, I'm gonna speak a little bit on that. Hustle culture is very toxic, and I feel like that does play a role on your mental health. That society says that basically your worth is determined by your work and how much you work. You know, it's always going to be productive and hustle, but like to that toxic mindset of that if you don't reach this, and this, then you're not worth anything in society. That can fuck with your mental too, because then that's when people start becoming workaholics and overwork. I know a workaholic myself, like was raised by one, and you could see how it's mentally draining for them, and then it also mentally drains the people around them. So I feel like that. That doesn't get talked about enough because
I
you tell anybody that you're not a part of hustle culture, like, oh, you don't want no money. It's like look down upon.
It's like literally people wake up, the first thing on their mind is a dollar sign. That's not me. Like,
Yeah.
and it sucks because, like you said, it plays a big toll on your mental. I feel like at this big ass age, I don't know. I mean, I know what I want out of my life. I know what I want to do in my life, but it's like I'm expected to do. You want me to work a full-time job, have 4 different side hustles, and you gotta have this, you gotta have that, and if you don't look like you're making it, then you ain't. I'm just like, bro, like when did we all just double down to a number, like, or yeah?
And you would think Capricorns, we'd be about. Of course, money's cool.
Like,
I like
money too, but I don't want all that I am is to like
To
work
drain
12
my
hours
mental.
a damn day, then come home, go to sleep, start that. Like that's not a cycle that I'm in.
Yeah.
When do you enjoy your time, your life? Like I get to make all this money and I enjoy the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
I think all of that just goes back into generational trauma, generational curses. Our ancestors years ago was working on plantations. That's all they
All they
do.
would work.
And then our people always just know to work, make that money. And the thing is, that's become a negative coping skill for our people. And I notice I do that a lot. Like even if you're that student that is involved in everything, is the leader of everything, it's a coping skill. You're running away from dealing with the things you have to deal with when you're by yourself. So you keep yourself busy. You stay outside. Even when it comes to drinking and smoking, I be outside in tea because if I'm at home, I'm going to be in my feelings. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I agree with you when you were saying what you were saying too. Like, I'm no stranger to admit it. Those are vices. Going out, like, every 9 out of 10, if you see me, I'm at the bar. And I don't even have to be drunk or drinking. Like, bro, it feels good internally because it's like, I'm out with people. We all here for the same reason. Get to eat, have a good time, blah, blah, blah. But it turned into something that I do because it makes me feel good. When I'm sober, my mind's everywhere. Like, here, there.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm the same way. I love a party. I love to have fun. Even if it's not a party, I like to have a good time. But at one point, I do know that it got to a point where I didn't like the parties anymore. But it was a mental escape from what was going on in my life, and that became draining within itself because now I'm expected to be at the parties. Like my friends are like, "Where you at? You go any other time?" And it's like I don't want to go, but then I do want to go because if I sit in my room, I'm gonna think about everything that I'm going through. So then it's like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't, and then that came a toxic mental cycle as well. So I had to like take a step back at one point. I'm still kind of going through it. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Ain't nothing wrong with
I'm still kind of going through it. Where it's like I literally tell myself I'm not gonna go out this time. I'm gonna stay inside. Then 10 minutes later, I'm like, well.
Then I be seeing you on Instagram in your cute little
And I hate it because, a lot of people, they get into that and they make it a post. Like, I already said my farewell to the streets on Friday. Like, I have to. Like, not even, it's a financial burden because, like, the money, after the weekend, I'm like, damn, I could have spent that on this, and like, I'm not going broke trying to go out. But I'm just saying, like, that's the last thing on my mind. It's just like, I look forward to my weekends because I know I'm about to go out and see everybody. But like you said, it's expected at this point. Like, oh, I didn't see you at this party. Where you at? I don't want to just, my existence to just be, you see me at a party. Like, of course, it's a great way to promote because of what I do. Like, I like to go and meet people and show y'all, like, hey, I'm Natchez, this is what I do. But I don't want that to be the only place that you see that I'm talented.
Yeah, I want to be productive in other spaces as well. I feel that. So.
And we're talking about vices. One thing I have to learn is that really alcohol, marijuana, tobacco, and other things of that nature are intermediate tools. It's how you perceive it in your relationship with it. I always often like to say, create vibes, don't chase highs. And the reason why I say that is because when we think about the indigenous cultural applications of these things, they have been healthily used for thousands of years. Marijuana is in the Chinese essential herb book for health. The Greeks used it in bathhouses. The Egyptians used it. Indigenous Aboriginal Americans had it. They brought it up through South America. A lot of cultures have actually smoked marijuana, and it affects the mind. When you think about smoking weed, the most effect of it is putting you to sleep. That is the most finite point of consciousness. When you think about drinking alcohol is a potion. I say that because it is the same concept of fermented fruit and water in a cauldron that's being stirred and then you're drinking it. That's why when people get drunk, their body is moving. Some people get drunk and black out. They don't know what they do. My opinion for that reason is because alcohol is a potion. We think about what alcohol is made out of. It's a liquid. Liquid and bodies of water represent the physical nature. So when you drink alcohol, it affects your physical body and connects you to the flesh. That's why when people smoke weed, it's alchemic processes air and fire. Fire represents spirit, air represents consciousness. So when people smoke, they get very into their mind, they get very into their head. Now, if you do not deal with your inner demons, with your inner thoughts, we all have these same thoughts. You're driving, you might have a very negative thought about crashing. You might be doing homework. You have a negative thought about homework. You have a negative thought about life. Sometimes when we're not in control of those thoughts and we take these substances, they protrude in the front of our mind and then they take over and we get lost in those thoughts. But if you have a good relationship with those tools, because they really are tools, you can use them to balance yourself. That's what The Drunken Master is all about. If you ever watched that movie, it's a good movie because it really means something. Not everything is good and bad. Those are really, there's more intersectionality to life. Life isn't so black and white. And when you understand that there is a balance, life really to me is all about finding balance. And I think that's what mental health is about. When, to piggyback on the conversation with money, when everybody was talking about money, I feel like money is on our mind because money, symbology-wise, replaces the mind. It replaces matter. Why do I say that? This table and everything in this room cannot be bought without money. Now, the etymology of matter, matter is a physical object in time, but matter is also my thoughts. My mother matters to me. Now, whatever matters to you or whatever you want to buy, you cannot get it without money, which also begins with an M. So when you understand the esoteric language of English, which comes from Latin and Greek, you realize a lot of the things we do are spellbinding, and we cannot elevate ourselves without the dollar bill because it is directly connected to material. You cannot get anything in the material world without a dollar bill. And it has been made like that on purpose to keep our minds down. Chasing money, in my opinion, is fully demonic.
Oh, yeah.
And I will claim that. And if anybody disagrees with me, I really want them to understand why do you have the urge to be trapped in the material world when you're a spiritual being? You're a soul. You cannot take this with you. People die over this. People are working themselves to death over this. We are destroying nations over this. Literally, there is about to be, I'm an agriculture major, there's about to be a huge wheat shortage in the fall because of wheat. So there's going to be a huge wheat shortage in the fall because of finances, because of money, because of the war. All these things coincide with material. And if we don't wake up and get out of this rut of worshiping money, worshiping matter, worshiping material, do we forget our souls? Do we forget our mental health?
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Well, okay, so we have a special guest coming virtually. His name is Rob Lee Jr. And, well, go ahead and send the request to Rob. He's going to be discussing mental health within men. So, go ahead and send that request. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Can you see me?
No, they can't see.
Okay.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Is it connected?
I think it's about the second. Yeah, it should be.
What's going on, y'all?
Hello. Welcome on the show. Welcome to Dear Mind.
Thank you. I wish I was there physically, but joining virtually just as good. How's y'all day today?
Pretty good, pretty good. We got some conversation going. So,
Yeah,
go ahead and introduce yourself.
my name is Robert Lee. I'm a sophomore at Kentucky State. Major is mass communication and journalism.
That's right.
Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to my boys.
Come on, B9.
And I am also a head editor of Thoroughbred News. Sky is not the limit. It's just a pass point for me. So that's how I like to think.
Okay. So I interviewed you like 2 weeks ago for Thoroughbred News about the mental health event that you attended or tried to attend. Can you go ahead and give us a little rundown of that?
Yeah, so basically I had wrote an article a few weeks ago about how there was a mental health event in, I think it was the Halls lounge. There's a mental health event in the Halls lounge room. Me and some of my fraternity brothers had went, we were going just kind of support, just to spectate, kind of just be there for emotional support so guys know that there are like-minded guys like them that go through stuff just like them. So we had gotten there. I got in there like 15, 20 minutes earlier than the event actually started. And, people are sometimes on color people time. So if the event started at 6. So, yeah. So then when it got to like 6:30 and nobody was showing up, I was like, okay, maybe people are going to start coming in now. Then it got to 7, nobody showed up. Maybe they just don't, maybe they just don't want to be here. But yeah, my article was basically just kind of saying how young men didn't find that important, but I bet if it was a party flyer that said guys getting free before 7, that they all would have been right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we discussed it a little bit in the interview, but I guess we're just gonna recap the interview. Why do you think that they wouldn't show? Why don't you think they care?
I think it's just an emphasis, how you guys were talking about how everybody makes everything important to them. Everybody's going to prioritize what they want to prioritize. You know what I mean? So I feel prioritize a sport, for example. If you prioritize a sport, then sometimes you'll forget about the things like your mental, your physical. You'll kind of just think about what's important to you at that time. So if mental health is not something that's important to you, then you're not going to be someone that wants to attend an event like that.
Right, and that goes back to what we were talking about, just in your childhood and not parents or just the idea of mental health not being important or just being very taboo to talk about. So now you're in college and there's a mental health event trying to tell you how important it is, but it's never been a thing for you. So you're not going to show up. You're like, oh well, I went this long without talking about it. I don't need it.
Exactly.
So, how do you think first off, how detrimental do you think that is to a man not prioritizing his mental health?
Well, for me personally, I'll just talk about my experience a little bit. I'll say for me, what made me prioritize my mental health was kind of me seeing other like-minded men like me. It's really good to have a support team around you when you do talk about serious stuff like that. I had guys around me that really did care about me and cared about themselves enough to even tell me about the mental health, about stuff with mental health, stuff that can help me, how mental health can affect you later down the road. So just having that support team and just kind of knowing what direction you want to go in with that. Because mental health isn't just a topic itself. So okay, now what is it? Is it trauma? Is it something you've been holding on to? It's a lot of different things that go into play with that. So I feel to make it an emphasis and to make it important, it takes a person to do it. It takes a person for self-recognition. It takes a person to want to make that change.
Right. So, what do you think could be done to make it more a priority? And we can just talk about at K-State specifically.
Okay.
Right now.
I think first it starts with the school, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm only gonna say because, for example, your education is prioritized, right? We're at Kentucky State to get a degree, so that's something to prioritize. Everybody's going to be doing that. If men's mental health is something that we want to prioritize, then we need to do it. We need to do it so that men know that okay, maybe I need to work on this. Maybe it needs to be something that's brought up enough for men to actually think about.
Right. I was saying the same thing. I was talking with Kanaya and just how everything else is promoted at school. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's everywhere for everything else, but then when it came down to something important as your mental health, no one wanted to show up. Now, there was an event that we went to for Mentally You, and we had a pretty good turnout, but it was more women than it was men. There was a few men. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys remember my campaign event. That I had a collab with Mental Youth for that event, and and I talked about it in my article. I said it was the number of women had dealt with the number of men, and I don't know, like I just don't know how that happened. You know, sometimes people get caught up in stuff, which I understand. But if something is important to you, then you're gonna prioritize it, like I've been talking about. So like, I just think it just takes, because I don't think it's the outreach thing. Like I don't think it's that students aren't caring about mental health, because we have multiple mental health events every semester.
Yeah.
That do I think it's a cultural thing? It might be. No, we haven't even gotten onto that aspect of it. Somebody had come in and said, "Do we think it's a cultural thing?"
It's my granny.
I think sometimes boys don't cry and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that can be a cultural thing.
Not only do I agree with a lot of the things you said, and being a student at Kentucky State University myself, I've noticed the same trends. And my perspective on that, and it's not the truth, but it's just a thought, is that the modern man today has a lacking of wisdom. And I say that because when you look up the etymology of the word wisdom, wisdom in Hebrew and Aramaic has a feminine connotation. When you think about positive and negative, having wisdom is taking a step back, subtracting, and looking at all the totalities of your actions and analyzing them and seeing what you did wrong. A lot of men are scared to look in their mind and look within themselves and see the things that they maybe do wrong. In today's society, we push the man to have knowledge. Knowledge is action, and they want to apply that knowledge. They want to act. They want to move forward. But before you move forward, you have to subtract yourself and step back. But a lot of men don't want to step back. They want immediate results. They want to go. They want to hustle.
Because
They feel like
they have to do.
they feel like taking the time to stop is weakness, but they don't understand in that time to freeze and stop time, can you actualize yourself in your actions and use wisdom to analyze yourself? And I feel like a lot of men are scared to look themselves in the mirror.
I agree.
I have some like ideas, solutions. I don't know if you all have tried things like this at K-State, but I just recently stepped down as the SGA president at Northern Kentucky University, and I'm also the president of my chapter, the Rho Chi chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So, some things that we do at our university. So, I know that funding is all around the place and things like that, but we try to make sure that we can offer free counseling for our students, because that's a big thing. Like that little tripwire and barrier can really stop a student from going and getting help. But also we have a group of basically students who are there and who have been trained to actually go out in the community, and if they see someone who needs help, or they see someone who needs somebody to talk to, they'll get with them and then they'll make sure they connect them to the proper channels. And kind of like so if I see a student, they look like they're going through it, or somebody came to me and told me that they need some help, I'm gonna get them, hey, you wanna go walk to the counseling center with me? I'll get you signed up. Do you know how many students, African American students, that have signed up with therapy just because I told them, come on, I'll take you to the center, and I was there with them and I was supportive. But also within our D9 organizations, doing things like Sister Circle or the barbershop talk. Sometimes putting the mental health word on the program can kind of push people away. But if you put it more into something that's like family oriented, or us just having a conversation, it's easier to open up. Because I promise, when we get into Sister Circle, we be in tears, we be going through it, and then we write out all of our problems, we'll pray, and then we'll break these glass plates like nothing ever happened. So kind of changing the dynamic of how you put things out there can also change the audience.
Yeah. The event that you hosted for campaign week when I came, remember at the beginning, people were hesitant to come inside. We were inviting people in to the game room. I know that people from the fashion show were outside, so we invited them in. I heard, oh yeah, we're gonna be in there. We're gonna be in there. Eventually they did come in there, and we stayed there for hours, talking, crying. Of course, I'll never discuss what was said in there, but people who typically probably wouldn't open up to anyone opened up and allowed themselves to really feel, and we all got to be there for each other. So I feel like they were glad that they were there. That they're glad that they came at the end of the day, even though they probably usually probably wouldn't go, but when they did come in, they were like, okay, this is a safe space.
I think while we're like discussing mental health in men, I would say I just have an opinion on why. I was reading like some of the comments and stuff. I just think that there's not a safe space for men to do that. And I know a lot of the men that I know that are in my life, if you were raised off of men don't cry, drop your nuts, do whatever you gotta do, like you're a man, you need to put on as a man. Men have feelings too. I don't give a fuck what nobody says, because I hear it all the time. Because I ask my male friends, what stops y'all? Because let me say this, I'm very intuitive, and I can tell when people are not okay. I don't care what front you put on. I'm a great ass actor, so I know I can see it. So it's like I always ask, what stops you from getting help? Why can't you confide in people, especially if they're in relationships that's gay? They don't want to do this, they don't do that. If you're not having sex with a man that is not gay,
Right.
I
say that all the time.
That has nothing to do with your mental health, bro. I hate that shit. Like, men go through it, and a lot of men, sometimes the men go through it mentally more than women because they do not have that outlet. If they can't express it to their significant others, if they can't tell their parents, if their friends think they're gay for the shit, who the fuck do they talk to?
And it's like you hear stories like, okay, so they were raised with parents who said crying is for little girls, man up stuff, so then you get to this relationship and that maybe you feel comfortable in the relationship and you cry. But I've heard so many women say, oh, my man's a bitch.
Yeah.
My man's a bitch.
And I know that's completely valid. Like, I don't take that away from them either. And I know everybody's not gonna be a you or a you or a you that cares and is gonna put that out there. But I always said, like, bruh, if you come across even a person who even looks interested, speak your piece, because all those bottled up emotions and everything, all it takes is one strong temporary emotion and you out of here. Like, and I really want men to understand that, like, there's somebody out there who's going to listen. There's people that are doing what y'all are doing, that have these organizations and these free therapy clinics and free counseling sessions, and people that will listen, but they just too afraid to go, bro. Go. What's the worst that could happen? You feel better? Like,
And it literally all starts from the childhood. Even if the father ain't in the life, like a mother telling your kid or making fun
Or
of
making
them when
them
they're
be
crying.
a man of the house.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
they're
But then when they're older, when they out here in these streets, when they being hard body because you kept getting on them for crying and acting like a female, now you wonder why your son don't open up to you, why he's not talking, why he's not doing well in school. And it's like, it's stemming from home, and then when the problem gets big and it's too big to handle,
you don't know where
you don't know where it came from.
You don't know where it
that's
happened.
where, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of aggression and shit like that and all that comes from just not knowing where to place those emotions, bro. You could have just had a bad day, but they don't know what those bad day signs are. Like, a lot of people just don't recognize those signs. 'Cause like as you said, it starts when you're young, or just even exposing yourself to different books and different things to educate yourself on why do I feel this way. There's such a stigma and it's not talked about enough to where it's like, now they like fighting and shooting and killing people. All that stuff is something's not right up there. That's
It's
why I
also
tell
our
people
culture.
that 100%.
My bad.
No, go ahead.
But the reason why I feel like it's our culture, because we tell the modern man to push his emotions aside to hustle. And I will also say, I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm trying to. Yeah, I do.
Look, okay, so I'll tell y'all wonder why we got 15-year-olds out here killing 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds out here killing 16-year-olds, and it's all from that childhood trauma, and now everybody, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
That's
it.
it. When we talk about it, y'all gonna get mad.
But
And to piggyback off what she just said, I just remember what I have to say. Emotions are perspective tools to understand the totality of a situation. We live in a culture where we tell people to use their emotions as fuel to get them to the next step. In my opinion, that is terrible advice. I have the experience of understanding what happiness is, so I can be happy at a birthday, so I can celebrate a birthday. I know what sadness is, so I can understand the gravity of someone's death and what that means to me. But I do not have attachment to those emotions. Oftentimes when I've been around my male peers, I notice that they use their hate and trauma and all the things they've been through as like a personality trait, as something to characterize themselves. And to me, I often found I have to say, in my opinion, that's a weakness in victimization, because not only do I look at myself as a person that's been through trials and tribulations, oftentimes people don't even know how I grew up or where I grew up because I articulate myself so well. But I've seen my plenty of hells just like anybody else. But it's the fact that I rose above those situations and I don't hold that in. Just because I've seen somebody get killed don't mean I make that personality trait. I seen my own grandfather cook crack. That don't mean that I have to be a crackhead. That means I don't have to go sell drugs. You do not have to internalize those struggles. You can rise above and elevate yourself. But for some reason, the modern man just loves using that as a descriptor. That is not a descriptor. Who are you? The modern man, in my opinion, does not know himself. He only knows himself as a reflection to the music he listens to, to the things that he looks at, and to maybe the opinions of his friends. But like, who are you without that trauma? Who are you without those things that you associate yourself with? Who are you without the gun? Who are you without the Who are you? A lot of people do not know themselves, and we're now seeing a generation of lost men.
But I'm gonna push back on you. So you said like a lot of people they see things and they just continue to do that because that's all they know. They don't, go out of their comfort zone and try to be different. Who is teaching our kids and who is teaching us to step out of our comfort zone and be different when that's all we know? Like there's always that little few that, I'm a change the narrative for my family and I'm gonna make that change. But what about the people that ain't never seen it or don't know how to make that change? So if I grew up and my granddaddy teaching me how to cook crack and that's all I know, then I'm gonna go get out the mud just like him, because some people aren't gonna have that energy like you to be like, I'm gonna get out the mud and I'm gonna change the whole narrative. So what about those people who don't
don't know different? They think that might be the norm, like we were talking about earlier, just norms that we're like, okay, wait, hold on, that's not a normal thing.
Yeah. So how do we help them?
So, in my opinion, when I deal with people like that, where I come across my male peers who I very care about and I look at them as equals, what I try to do is exude grace towards them. And I just try to have genuine, honest conversations, because as a man, I realize that I have to speak on men's issues from a masculine perspective. Men sometimes get in these social circles and want to coddle each other and talk about women all the time when we need to be talking about ourselves and mental health. So it's from my perspective that to be a masculine man, I have to keep on asking the question, well, why? Why didn't you feel like you could be different? Why didn't you feel like that you could have an outlet? Me, I really didn't have no teacher. I had no master. I didn't look up to nobody. I played sports and stuff, but I wasn't a sports head. When I think about, to me, excuses are tools of incompetence, which are monuments of nothing. And a lot of men need to realize that, yes, you might not have those sources, but how much are you going to make these excuses and be a victim? It is not saying don't have grace, don't have love, don't get help. Vent about it, even cry about it. Jesus cried. But what I will say is that the more that we hold on to this victimization and holding our wounds, the men that never got to get that help when they was younger or never saw it as a problem to fix it with themselves until their late 20s and late 30s, they're only going to get more stuck in their ways. At the end of the day, it still goes back to them. They have to man up and look themselves in the eye.
My podcast maybe 2 podcasts ago, where I was talking about generational trauma and just healing from that, and I mentioned a friend told me, he's like, you just need to cry, you need to cry, you don't cry. This is the friend, I just wanted, because you were talking about crying and letting venting and stuff. This was my venting friend. Like, we vented my whole freshman year, and he's like, Maya, you just don't cry enough. You just don't cry enough. And crying really did.
I'm glad you fucking said that. Because look, I cry too damn much.
And it's not even that. Ever since I was a child, I've just always felt everything. I've always been so touchy-feely. I've always, like, if I know you have a bad day, as an impact, I feel it. Like, that's just not a joke to me. I literally feel everything. So it's like when I can't, I'm losing my words. When I can't make out how I'm feeling, how I make myself feel better, is making other people feel like it's okay to be vulnerable around me. Cry in front of me so I can cry too and get this out of the mud together. Like, I've never seen a problem with showing emotions. I get told all the time, like, you're so sensitive, you cry all the time. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wrong with that.
Because
There shouldn't be.
that's how I release, and I haven't cried in like, I want to say 2 months. Yes, I've been counting. And it's a medication thing. Like that shit, it suppresses everything. Like I don't know if I'm doing better or if it's just the medication numbing everything. I don't know, but it feels weird not to have that release. Like even though I want to cry, I need to cry, I can't.
And no one should have told you that you cry too much. I hate that.
I
that
understand it, and even more so, like in my family, I'm the crier. Like before I even got here, life was hard for them, so they had to raise us a certain way. They had to grow up hard body. They had to. My children are not. They're not gonna get those talks that I got. They're not. This is a whole different world. This is a whole different everything now. Like my mom didn't show me the struggle, show me none of the stuff that we had to go through. She made sure you are a kid, you're gonna stay a kid, it's okay. Like I know crying probably annoyed her and stuff too, but they let me feel.
Yeah.
So when the day that it comes, my kids are going to be allowed to cry. The daughters, the sons, whatever they want to identify as they get older, they're going to be able to cry. Because if you're not crying, or at least you have some type of emotional outlet, you're going to turn to drugs, you're going to turn to guns, you're going to start fighting, you're going to do everything that makes you feel good because you don't have any other release. Cry, girl. Ain't nothing fucking wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong
Get that
with it.
shit out. Like,
I just have one little piece, and I'm go ahead and go. So we do have young men and young women that are training right now currently. They'll be training now until the end of fall semester to be peer mental health counselors.
Okay.
I just want to say our objective, from my perspective, our objective is for students to know that they matter and their opinions matter and how they feel matters. And I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. Y'all have a blessed one.
If you want to connect and talk about that, I can provide some resources from our courses and stuff if y'all need anything, okay?
Okay, and I'm gonna ask Maya for your information, and then we can just connect through there.
And one more thing, can you please offer some advice, just to any young man watching right now, like any words you'd like to give to the young man, just encouraging words, especially regarding mental health?
I say when it comes to mental health, it's one day at a time. Like you're not gonna get all your problems solved by thinking about it for 2 hours. You're not gonna get all your problems solved by thinking about it for 2 days. It's an everyday progression. Like it's everyday progression. That's it, day by day.
Right. All right, well, thank you so much for being here and talking to us. You have a good day.
And y'all have a blessed one.
you
All right,
too.
Oh, yeah. Woo. All right, that was good. That was really good. Another thing that Madison was talking to me about with just mental health in children, it's just not even maybe it's not like I don't believe in mental health, but like a child not being able to really express themselves fully yet because they're children. Why that adults might be like, oh, well, he's a child. It's not really. He's just a kid. When really they're human. They have real emotions. They're going through real things. They're going through real frustrations. But just because they don't know how to articulate it, it's not taken as seriously.
I think a thing, I don't know, stop me if I'm going off topic, but like when it comes to mental health in children, I think that oftentimes they're put on medication and all this other shit to sedate what they don't understand. Like there's kids that can't sit still and can't focus on a board for fucking 8 to however long we're in school, hours a day. That shit's not normal. We're not meant to sit here and do this all day. That's not normal. So of course they're jittery and of course they're doing all of this and they're talking to their friends, but they're fucking bored. Like there's nothing to stimulate their minds. There's nothing to keep them interested. So of course, like I feel a lot of the times that's a lot of where that shit comes from too. Like they're so put down and this isn't that and this ain't this, so they're growing up confused. That has a lot to do with it too. I think just how it starts for.
I agree with you. When we think about what we was talking about earlier, how the modern child spends more time in school than in the household, Then you have to think about how K-12 education in the Western sphere has not been changed since the Industrial Revolution. So all they really teach kids, that's why they have AP and IB classes, because they're not actually overhauling, changing the whole curriculum to update the consciousness of the modern child today. They just add in a couple little special classes because for the most part, they're still teaching children to be factory workers. They're still teaching children to listen to somebody. They are actually not enriching the minds, and they're not really helping people be inquisitive. I feel like the best way to get out of a mental rut is to ask questions. But if you don't even have the inclination of what questions to ask or where to go, then you're not going to have those stepping stones that builds upon an answer for yourself. We also need to teach children that their truth is their truth alone, and they need to understand that their intersectionality is not the same as somebody else. We have a lot of things, these children on social media very young, it promotes envy and jealousy. I was talking about this to somebody earlier, but I follow my little brother, some of his AAU friends, I follow a lot of my cousins and stuff like that. And I often see, idol worship and things like that. And the reason why I say it's idol worship is because the way I look at a celebrity functions in this caste system as a lord. When a president needs to go get votes, the same way a king needed to get coin, a king goes to a lord, a president goes to a celebrity. The celebrity affects how the common plebeian American citizen acts. So now we have a bunch of young boys that wake up early in the morning, they're reposting pictures of NBA YoungBoy, they're reposting pictures of Future, they're reposting pictures of Lil Baby. Mind you, I'm not attacking these individuals. What I'm saying is that we have young men that wake up in the morning and the first thing on their mind is thinking about emulating another man. That is not natural. That is not right. And when you really think about that, we need to stop having young boys idolize people so early, and they need to learn to love themselves and value themselves. You have little kids that don't even take the time to learn themselves, and they're already trying to emulate a rapper, emulate a basketball player, emulate whatever high status celebrity, but they don't even want to be themselves. We don't even allow kids to be themselves, really.
And sometimes, the reason our kids don't know how to communicate is because we don't know how to communicate. So how are they going to do something that they've never seen?
Yep.
And I think a lot of times, I know in my household growing up, when we talked, it was loud, it was yelling. You know what I'm saying? There was never really soft tone communication. There was no, how do you feel? It was like you do it and you keep it pushing. And so if you're experiencing that your whole life and then you're trying to figure out, you don't know how to communicate to people. So then when you go to high school or when you're going to college and people are like, why is she acting like that? Why are you yelling? Why are you doing all that? That's all I've known for the past 18 years. So you got to give me a second to unlearn it. Just a minute.
For it's like friendships, relationships, any relationship with anybody, really trying to unlearn that, but then also not really knowing how to, because it's all you do. And we got 2 minutes already. We'll just start right now. But yeah, I guess how we were taught when we were younger is how we talk now to other people, and it affects every relationship that you have. And so it's kind of like this trial and error, learning as you go. You're going to lose friends because they just can't deal with the way that you were raised, and even though you're working on it, they have that right to not be around it, not put up with it, and go on about their other friendships, go on about their life and shit. But I guess it's just all learning experience. But I get what you're saying. It's hard to unlearn all of that, and especially how you talk to other people. It's hard to me to this day. I'm getting better. I'm getting a lot better with communicating, but it's a struggle. It's a process. It's a lifelong process.
When the people you love still communicate that way, and you have to learn how to code switch and be able to. So when I go back home, I got to be able to adapt and talk like this. But when I'm back in my atmosphere where I like to be, I get to become the new me. And it's like fighting that battle of going back to the old you to fit in where you're from, and then having to go back to the new you. Because if you're the new you there, you're crazy, you need help, you tripping, you know what I'm saying?
At school, I'm a totally different mind than when I'm at home. At school, I found, my friends that I can communicate with. We can talk positive things. We talk we talk positive things to each other. We're talking good shit into the air, manifesting. We're learning all this shit together. We like stuff that your grandma probably doesn't really think is important. We think is important at school, and so being there and being like around just like-minded people, then going back home around the toxic mindset that you were before you went to school, it's like, fuck.
Jesus save me.
Ooh, 433? Cool.
High.
Alright, we're gonna, well, shit. I'm gonna do episode 4, part 1.
This has been a really good conversation.
For real. We're only on the first 2 topics. The first 2 things I had said. Episode 4.
Ooh, are you tagging us?
Yes.
Period.
Hey, okay, this is random, but so what's crazy, I just started a social media page called Embracing Your Inner Child. It's like a mental health page, so I'm gonna have to
That's
figure
why
out.
I need that, because I kid you not, everything I put on the internet is me fucking around, and it's just, like seriously, I'm on couches and on top of the goddamn shit, and they're like, yo, people gonna be saying that? No. This is me, they know it's been doing this for 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Is it on share? Come on. You gotta keep it going. It's just not pressing. Like, I'm pressing share and it's not.
You might have to exit off your phone and then go, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not posting it?
Yeah, like, it won't even if it.
Unless you save it, like draft it.
I can view it, yeah. I'll be able to.
Because I can edit it.
Oh, it'll go in your archives.
It'll go in
Yeah.
your archive, yeah.
Well, come on. I probably clicked it so many times.
I'm in the bathroom real quick. Okay, cool.
You know where it's at? Yeah.
I think.
Is it
Oh, no,
gonna
I posted, girl.
It posted?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm so weak because this live is on right now.
Is it?
Oh!
Hey, y'all.
Oh, so they was hearing everything.
They heard everything.
My bad.
Sorry,
least
y'all.
your-
My
your
words
skin
didn't
is
show the
glowing.
shit.
I know. Your skin's glowing on this one.
Mine?
Your face
Yeah.
been all up in it, but it was
On
cute
this
though.
one.
But yeah, sorry, my word. I be having trouble articulating my words sometimes, but I hope you just get what I'm saying.
How did you get your vocabulary so extensive? You read a lot?
I said that.
I need to
I said this man.
Because he been
I
over there
said
speaking.
this man says like the things that I be feeling. You know, I can't say it the same, but I'm like he's hitting the point that I can't get across. Like this is the word I need to use to really emphasize the
We
feeling.
definitely need a program for young black boys or something like that.
I guess we're just in a little intermission right now. Just yeah. I already started it, but it's cool.
Oh, it started. Sing a song.
Sing a song. We're not gonna take.
No, we need to. What's the best thing on song? Oh, do y'all know how? Hold on. This is good. You know how a lot of our celebrities that are African American, they really be spitting game about mental health in their songs, but it be so secret. Like, do y'all know "Girl on Fire" by Alicia Keys? Nicki Minaj is literally talking about her suicide attempt in the song, and it just be like,
Over people's
There's
heads.
a lot of songs that talk a lot of shit, but it's a catchy song, so people really only just they memorize the word for word, but they're not internalizing it. And what's that one Outkast song? And he was like, "Y'all ain't hearing me, y'all just want to dance." And we ain't hear shit. Then I didn't hear a damn thing.
That's crazy y'all said that because when you think about rap is projected consciousness. That rap is somebody's thoughts and words that are correct, that are like creatively expressed through metaphors, similes, hyperboles, things like that. And when you really break that down, you can really learn somebody's journey when you listen to their music. I know, because I like Detroit rap music, when I listen to Babyface Ray, he also is another rapper that talks a lot about mental health. He talks about his mental struggles, and he talks about the things that he's seen and how he projects them on his views with people. But it's also the ear that you're listening to. Now, are you going to listen to the 808s, or are you going to listen to the storytelling? And when I try to listen to rap, that's why I'm one of those people, I will always defend rap. I will not say that rap is promoting hyperviolence. I will not say that rap is promoting over sexuality, because if rap is the way it is, then that means society is the way it is. Because these rappers and these people are citizens and individuals that live the life we live and they exist in the same way that we do. So if rap is hyperviolent in the black masculine sphere of influence, and that means that black men deal with hyperviolence every day. So if we want rap to change, then we need society to change for us. But a lot of people don't realize
Because
that.
it wouldn't sell nobody to relate to it. So you know what I'm saying? Like, shit that's being put out is because they're like, oh, this is what's trending right now in society. I'm gonna make music about what's going on in society right now. So it's not a matter of changing the music; it's a matter of starting the society. So I like that.
That's why Broadway never gonna be broke because it's always somebody.
He's really
Some-
He ain't never gonna be broke because I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and music is so vital. I feel like to mental health in general because, unless like you said, what are you listening to? Are you listening to the beat? Are you listening to the words? I'm gonna listen to it 4 times. The first time I listen to the beat because that's what's gonna draw me in. Then I want to hear what you're saying. Then I gotta pick what time of day I'm gonna listen to this. Like you said, Broadway. He's at night. I'm driving home. I'm in my zone. I'm listening to him. I don't listen to anything rap related after 4 o'clock. I can't do it. And I just started doing that. DJ One Piece posts about that a lot too. Like, and it sets you up for the day. Like, I listen to the shit that you just walked in here singing, like, to get me ready for the day, and then I channel it out. But as you were saying, like Babyface Ray and other artists, G Herbo just dropped a whole album called PTSD. That man has seen a lot. That's why he is one of my favorite rappers because he's gonna talk about the streets and all this other good stuff. But if you're listening, he's talking about other shit. He has his whole album cover is an American flag. Each star is about 20-25 of them dead homies. G Herbo's 25 years old. Like, he's speaking and talking about what he went through, how it affected him. Now he uses that, he puts it back into Chicago. He goes to different schools and he plays his music in auditoriums in front of all these
does
different
what he needs to
people.
do as an artist and as a person with a platform. I feel like he really does do what he
He
needs
puts
to
that
do.
back into his community, and I feel like as long as, like you said, I'm always advocate for rap music as a black person, as a black woman in general, black anything, like that's ours. We did that. We put that out there. Like, and everybody's like, oh, this rap music is tainting our youth and doing all this and doing all that. To a certain extent, okay, yeah, because a lot of kids are listening to that shit and all they hear is the violence. They want guns, they want all this. But if you go back a little bit, before we was even put here, old school hip hop, I'm talking, I don't want to start this off, we'll be here all day, but if you go back a little bit and you listen, I'll name drop, I'll just say it. Tupac, Ice Cube, Biggie, all these different people, yes, they're talking about violence, they're talking about guns, but they're talking about shit that they went through. If you make it to the end of the song, they're gonna tell you, oh, you know, you're young, you still got so much to put out into the world. He wrote a whole song, Brenda's Got a Baby. She went through all this shit, but she didn't know. She got a brain, she could make it out. Yes, you have all this shit going on, but at the end of the day, you're gonna either pick to stay in this, or you're gonna take this, what I just said, and run with it. I'm gonna run with it.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm guilty when it comes to just listening to the beat sometimes and then listen to the words later. And I'm like, oh fuck,
You
what was
was
I
saying
singing?
shit.
Like, okay, like Pumped Up Kicks. All the other kids with the. No one knew that was about a school shooting.
Never knew.
No one knew, but everyone was singing it though.
Catchy.
It's catchy. And then, like, okay, I ain't gonna lie, when I first started listening to Brent Fayez, I'm like, oh yeah, he can sing. He's like, I was just feeling the music part, but when I really started listening, I'm like, this nigga's toxic as
As
fuck.
fuck, dude.
What the fuck? This is the type of man I talk shit about.
Like,
but I'm over here just like, ooh,
I got men singing
yeah.
you real like songs. What are you thinking about me, girl? He's
Like what? And then he said,
I said he making this sound good.
he said, fucking on the floor, like, cause I don't care, something like that. It was in Clouded, I think.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, what I look like getting on the floor?
Basically said, hey, I'm just like, and I was like, and I was just
But it sounds like it's the best thing
But then you
ever.
think back, like, wait, this goes against everything I believe.
Everything I do, I'm in the car like, y'all.
I'm like, bitch this, bitch
My
that.
best friend, she's so heavy on the, let me read the lyrics. Like, she'll put a song for me and she'll hand me her phone. She's like, read the lyrics. That's how I have to do that every time I listen to something new now. Because, like, there is going to be music where you just, you listen to it, you don't turn up, you want to feel good, have a good time. But, like, I also want to know what I'm saying, too, because
Because then also, what did you tell me? words are spells. Like when you put out to the air, it's gonna come back to you. You're gonna internalize that. So you're really just speaking it into existence. So if all I'm singing about is fuck it, I don't know, something toxic. I don't fucking know.
I like little man.
Yeah, like you're gonna internalize that. Like just singing Brent Fire sometimes. That's my man, kind of. But he's very toxic. So then I'm internalizing those toxic statements and behaviors, and then I'm starting to live it out. Like okay, I'm not gonna say I'm toxic, but I started to emulate toxic behaviors, not just because of his music alone, but I'm just saying I feel like that could have played a part. Like any toxic music, it could have played a part in how I move. And like I'm FREE, but
Yeah.
I listen to that every day. I ain't gonna lie, and it puts me in that mood. Like, oh, yeah, and it sets my mindset for the rest of the day. Like even before I go out, I listen to music that I want to feel for the rest of the night because I do feel it for the rest of the night. So if I'm playing some slow R&B music, I just want a good vibe type of night. But if I'm over FREE,
It's crazy you say that because I listen to when we pregame. I'm listening to Michelet and I'm screaming and belting and whatnot. I go out to the club, we do what we do. Afterwards, it's straight Mary J. Like I need to be, I can't be consumed with that all night. I need to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I can't leave this function and get in another function on wheels. I can't do it.
So what we learned from this, music is an amazing positive coping skill. If you take away anything today.
Yes, but it's how you use it.
There's one thing I like to add, that music is brainwashing, because if music wasn't a form of brainwashing, then we would not say the Pledge of Allegiance with a song behind
I'm
it.
sorry, yeah.
No, I'm just talking about the
I get what you're
culture.
saying,
The
though.
culture.
I'm about like 6 years.
If you listen to, let's say, like Real, the Young OG, or RMC Mike, they fully talk about hitting women, beating women, stuffing women with drugs, trafficking women, and even killing women. Now, I've even been somebody that's been in the middle of a song and be like, damn, this shit's hard. But then when I step back and I listen to it, I'm recognizing that at the end of the day, no matter how you slice it, you are promoting sex trafficking. And these rappers are openly talking about sex trafficking. And the thing is that it's brainwashing. If you're waking up every day and you're listening to that, you're listening, beat a bitch, hit a bitch, kill a nigga, fuck a nigga, every day, every single day. You don't switch it up at least.
Pop that pussy.
Whether you realize it or not, those seeds of deceit are sowing themselves within your subconscious. When you talk to a really good psychologist, they'll even tell you our brain cannot defer from the things that we hear and see. As even they even tell you not to watch a lot of violent movies, because when you go to sleep, your brain will really think you're in a violent situation. Your brain will activate and think you're in danger.
Like think about Bad Girls Club. You watch a few episodes of Bad Girls Club, you think you win that shit.
I used to, and it's fucked up. I used to want to, I'm no hypocrite. I used to be a person, when you were talking and stuff, I was listening to, like, growing up, I was all of that, and heavily influenced by what I listened to, what I watched. I idolized these people. I looked up, like, put a music video right now, I guarantee you I can do the whole choreography front to back. Like, I used to study these people, but it's like, what am I really trying to take away from what I'm listening to and who I'm seeing? And that's, I'm like, a lot of that used to affect me a lot as a kid. Like, even when it comes down to, like, did y'all ever watch Degrassi?
I know the
Ain't Drake in it?
Drake's in it. But that show touched on so much, from sex trafficking to trigger warning, rape and things like that. Different substances and drug abuse. Like, so much was happening and packed into that show. I forgot one day was in high school. Like, a lot of that stuff, and a lot of what I learned of how to deal with my mental health issues was through that show. Like, self-injurious, that was some shit to say. Self-injurious behaviors and just things like that came from what I was watching on TV. So it was like, as much as I like to say, like, it's just music, yeah, but it also affects you too, just depending on where you're at mentally.
Yeah, of course. Especially like what you said earlier in the episode, just like finding something to relate to or somebody to relate to, especially watching TV, you're trying to find any type of way to feel like you connect with something. And then when you do connect, and then it's okay, like, TV's kind of dramatized as well, so then you're like, this is the real, or they're telling me real advice because you can kind of relate to it. It's kind of sets you off a little bit.
And if we're talking about metaphysics and pseudoscience, we when you think about our body is like 70-80% water, and then you think about how water retains vibration and retains energy. When you think about how we all have a vibrational frequency, the electrons, atoms, and everything in our body vibrate on a certain frequency, so I can not fly through this table. Music is also on that frequency. When you think about how music decorates time, music is what we use to decorate time. Music is how we pass time. And when you realize that if you decorate your time with violence, then your reality is violence, and you move and live within violence. And we have to realize that the nature that we want to create, we have to project it in all ways. And when we're not aware of how sound can embed itself in our consciousness and our thought, that goes back into poisoning our souls, poisoning our spirits, poisoning our bodies. You oftentimes have people that listen to music and become followers and they poison their body. And even when you think about people that use these specific hyper-violent or hypersexual songs to get turned up to, it's songs that are leading them to the consumption of poison. And it's only a poison because of the dosage. The only difference between, and I learned this in agriculture, the only difference between poison and medicine is the dosage. So with that being said, music can be medicine, but too much of the wrong type of music can be poison.
Too much of a good thing is a good thing.
Yeah, that's very.
Too much of a good thing is a good thing.
Please remember that so I can like write it down somewhere.
Yeah.
And tweet it or something. That was fire. Like, people need to hear that.
Every time you go, like you touch on things that I'm already thinking of, so it's like at the end it's like, oh, okay, we're not gonna go with that one. Okay. Well, so another thing that we wanted to touch on was medication, actually. So, you brought that one.
Yeah. So I can go into medication, and I suffer with severe depression and anxiety. And within the past 3 months, I started my medication journey. And with that, I realized how scary it is. And typically, like when it comes to going to the doctor because you broke your leg or because you're not feeling good, they already know what you need. They give it to you, you take it, everything's cool. But whenever it comes to getting prescribed for medication for your mental health, it gets scary because they're prescribing you medication based off of the responses that you give them, based off of how you tell them you feel. But also in our Black community, when you're often not validated and you're told that your feelings were never valid, you don't know if you're telling them the right thing in order for you to get prescribed. So then when you get on these meds, especially if it's your first time, like my first time, y'all thought I was gonna die. They put me on this medication called Zoloft. And when I tell you shaking, cold, I was in the middle of my SGA meetings, like about to go to sleep. I couldn't do anything. I wasn't functioning right. So then that was a turnoff because your first time trying out meds and it ruins your body and makes you feel terrible. It's like, oh. But I was determined. I was like, no, I'm gonna go back. So then I went back and I got on this medicine called Prozac.
Get on my head, bro.
I started crazy, and I don't know y'all. Like Prozac has literally changed my life from like being irritable because like when I say I was in a bad place, like my last suicide attempt was March 29th. I was having suicidal ideations every day. Like every night I had to cry myself to sleep, and most of the time I couldn't sleep, so I'd have to smoke in order to get to that place. So now to be in a mind state where my meds really help regulate my emotions, help me like suppress my anxiety and then kind of work through my feelings in a healthier way, like I really love and appreciate it. But I think that medicine is down so much in our community because they're like, no, you don't need meds to do this, you don't need it. And in reality, no, we have chemical imbalances. No, a lot of this stuff is hereditary. And we're running away from something that can really help us, but you just have to be open to it.
So first and foremost, I want to say I'm very proud of you. I'm so glad that you want to do that for yourself because a lot of people don't. Like they're like, oh, this is just the end all be all. Like this is how I'm gonna feel. There's no changing it. And you said the first medication didn't make you feel good. Some people probably would have stopped right there and said, oh, fuck medication altogether. But you went back and you still, tried to find a different solution. So I'm very proud of you for that. I'm very proud.
I've been popping my pill every morning now. I feel, come on, get me right.
It's crazy you say that because like I started out with what the fuck? what was the first thing?
Zoloft.
Zoloft. Hated it. Like, I felt like a zombie. I was numb. Like, I couldn't do anything. It was just terrible. I'm on like my 4th one now. I'm married to something. I don't know, but it's like, again, I can't tell if I'm feeling better or if it's numbing me again. I went cold turkey when I was taking Zoloft. Vyvanse, Mirza, that one I can't pronounce. Like, I feel like I can't even pronounce what I'm taking. So it's just like, it was hard to really allow it. But like you said, I'll be so down bad mentally that like I just take it all, anything that like I can do. But as soon as I feel like this isn't working, I just quit it. And the effects of just going cold turkey off medication and not gradually taking yourself off is so much worse. Like, everything I was supposed to feel getting on it, I felt getting off of it. And it's like, it's so hard to convince somebody or tell somebody that like you're literally at war with your own brain. Like, I want to be here. I have people that love me. I have a family. I have friends. But deep down in the back of my mind, I don't want to fucking be here. And that's hard to live with that, because it's like, I have so much to be grateful for. I have so much to be thankful for it. And it's just like, but at the end of the day, I still go to sleep and I am praying that I do not have to wake back up. Every single pill that I've taken, I'm sorry, but it's like, but I'm not about to cry on this here platform. No, but like every single pill I've taken, it's just like that feeling doesn't go away, and it's touch and go, and that's why I turn to weed and I turn to alcohol, because it's like it's an instant fix. But I would love to not have to rely on that. But like she said, like I take my meds faithfully. Like I need that, and it was so hard to be dependent on a pill. But I have tried to kill myself 3 different times, bro. 3 different times. February 25th, went home, ready to go. I went downstairs and I laid in my mom's bed and I'm like, look, bro, I love you to death. I don't want to leave this effect on everybody. I don't want to be the reason why y'all are sitting here trying to figure out what y'all didn't do right, what you did wrong, how you could have helped. You can't help somebody. You're sick, bro. Like, depression, anxiety, mental health is a sickness. It's a chemical imbalance. So no matter how much you tell me to pray, no matter how much you tell me to look to God, to open the book, to go talk to somebody. I've been talking to people since I was 14. The first time I tried to get myself out of here, like I joke about it, I laugh about it, it's just a coping skill, but I've gone through like a lot trying to fix this shit, and it's so hard. That's why I'm like, that's what she said, I'm really fucking proud of you for just putting that out there, because I'm still trying to figure out what I gotta do to make sure that, you know, I can be here. No, that's what's important to me, and like, I'm all for it. If you think medication's gonna work, take that shit. If you think that if you can't afford it or don't have the insurance and weed and all that stuff is all you can do, bro, do what is going to keep you here, because I promise you, like, some people just really don't have that in them to work on it and go get the meds and do all that, or don't have the resources. But if you have that, bro, go find it, because it's really scary being afraid of yourself and not knowing what you're capable of when you're under, I call it under attack, because that's what it feels like. Like you said, I have depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And a lot of that comes from the PTSD is secondhand. That came from helping other people through their trauma. And I hear certain sounds and shit like that, and that takes me back. It's triggering me, you know? So, I don't know. I'm sorry. That went way further than I anticipated. I'm saying, like,
so much for being transparent.
Try it. If one thing doesn't work, try something else. And I know you're going to feel like shit. You're going to wake up with different mood swings and emotions. You're gonna go through emotions trying to fix yourself, but it can happen. It works. I've been clean of any self-harm for, I want to say, 60 days now. Like, and I've realized so many times, bro, and mental health is just an everlasting journey. But don't give up on yourself, dog. Like, do what you gotta do to make sure that you're okay. Because at the end of the day, you can only fix you. And if you're trying, like, if you're a person that's been affected by, like, suicide or people's mental health, that's not on you. You can't fix people like that. Like, I don't like, because I know a lot of times I felt like a burden on my friends, and I felt like I'm putting people in a position to hurt. Well, I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm hurting. It's hard for me to wake up and be in this body and be something. So, like, don't put that on you. Put the tools into people. Suggest these things, rely on your resources, because y'all are saying stuff that, like, you know, I never knew about these organizations, and I never knew how certain stuff is all about your being, bro. Just confide in people to the best of your ability. Take that fucking medication. Do what you gotta do to make sure you're okay, because can't nobody fix you but yourself. At the end of the day.
That is beautiful.
I'm glad that you all spoke up because I'm not gonna lie, y'all sitting here being able to be so honest with me. Hop up here real quick. Sorry, I'm dating
This
lady. I'm like, I'm not timely. Please forgive me. So we haven't put on this in my family, and it didn't really become current or prevalent until I came to college with one of my parents, and she never told us about her diagnosis. I just recently found it out whenever I got my own diagnosis. But like, I saw her on medication, and I saw how it was like doing really bad for her. So like, she has bipolar disorder, and they say it's one of the hardest to keep medicated because like when you're doing good, and you don't feel the need to take it anymore. And so she would feel good, and she wouldn't take it no more, and then it would just lead to like a downfall, or like she would take it, and she said she felt like a zombie, like she was like, yes, she's here, but she doesn't feel here. And like, that's where my biggest hesitation is, because my results came back with type 2. She's type 1, but I'm type 2. And it came back and they're like, oh, well, like, how you guys are talking about like smoking and drinking? They're like, oh, well, it's because you smoke so much, or like, it's a high chance that you smoking is what's hiding some of your symptoms. But in my head, I'm like, you're trying to switch the work. I'm like, well, that means what you're telling me is that the weed is medicine. And that I don't need to stop smoking because if the weed is suppressing my symptoms, that means it's helping me out. And so it's kind of like just a fear, because like you said, like, it's kind of scary sitting here thinking about it, because like, they're like, well, you need to stop smoking for 6 months so we can make sure that symptoms aren't being suppressed and that you're actually type 2 and not type 1. But like, because I've seen how my mom is, if she's type 1, I don't ever want to see myself get to that point, if that makes sense. So like, just like y'all are saying, like, oh, stop taking this, stop doing this so we can actually see, but I'm like, I don't want to see.
Right.
And that's been like one of my biggest challenges, is like getting myself to actually pause and take the time to actually sit and explore what all comes with it. Because also, like, one thing I think that has definitely helped me process it all is the fact that, like, they sit here and they try to say that mental health is a taboo topic and that mental illnesses are an issue and this, that, and third, but obviously there's a whole book on it, and that means enough people have it that they can put a name to it. So it's not that uncommon. Yeah. Like, we try to sit here and be like, oh, like, that's weird, that's not strange. It's not that strange that they can put a name to it because enough people have it. So, like, please, yeah, take care of your mental health. Like, it's something I'm in my little process of.
That's an accomplishment within itself. I'm glad that you're taking the steps for that.
And like, it don't help, because like, some people's parents are severe. Like, my mom, like, she never told us her diagnosis. Like, she's had this issue since like, for who knows how long, but she's had her diagnosis since my freshman year in college, and I just graduated, so 4 years, and she never told us. And the only reason I figured it out was because I got my diagnosis. They're like, more than likely it's hereditary, because bipolar disorder is hereditary. So they're like, more than likely that's what she has. And like, one of her friends ended up having to tell me, like, yes, this is what it is. And I'm like, well, see, because she tries to sweep it under the rug, so like, kind of. And I feel like that's where our generation does really well about trying to take away that taboo idea around it. But yeah, take care of your mental health. Go get tested, because like, I will say, I went and got tested for ADHD because I was having struggles and I thought that's what it was. And they're like, well, good news, bad news. Good news, you don't have ADHD. Bad news, you meet the criteria for this. So like, you won't even think, like, if you're having struggles, it can be like the simplest things where like, you might not even realize what it is. And like, and if you do get that diagnosis, don't think that it's bad, because like I said before, like, enough people have it, they can put a name to it. So it's not that uncommon.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even like it's just in, like, it is worldwide. Like, people have these issues worldwide. And I think one of my struggles is that, like, I know personally, I try to steer away from like the medication route and steer more into like the little, like, personal, like, what can I do with like my lifestyle changes is what I be trying to aim for more, like just being aware of whenever I'm doing this, that, and the third, that's a symptom of this. And like trying to catch it sooner and recognizing it. But that don't always work. And I will say, I went through the support system, because like, people don't know I can talk about it, but I will say the close people to me know. Like, and I let them know, like, as soon as I got my little, what's it called? Like, so if you don't want to take that medication route, like, if you're like me and you trying to be, like, I don't even want to say hard-headed, because it's not hard-headed. But like, if you don't feel like the medication route is the best for you, because like I said, I saw what it did to my mom, and I really just don't feel like it was a time, like, it's a lot to get to that point, then like, at least open up your support system. Because that's also one of the things where we struggle is that we want to try to handle, like, it's a trauma response to try to handle everything on your own. So like, let people help you, because like, you're already sitting here struggling with these things, and if you're in like a down moment, like say I'm in a depression or I'm in a manic, like I'm already struggling, like I need those supports. Like I need to feel like, okay, like this is like you're going a little too much now, or like you're doing this, that, and the third. Like, so like if you're not gonna take that medication route, at least take like the little support system around, do something. Don't just do nothing, but like try to find something. Like I'm trying to do lifestyle changes. We're trying to before I go the medication route. So like
Something I do regret is waiting so long. I mean, I feel like I've always thought mental health was important, but I waited so long to really, I guess, take, you know what I'm saying, take the opportunities for therapy and stuff like that. Cause like, the last time I had like a real bad like mental, I guess, episode, would you say, like, just breakdown was, it was after my senior year of high school. I had just graduated, and that's the worst I felt, I think, in all my life. Of course, I've had other times where I've been mentally drained and stuff, but that right there is like, it was like that's something that will always stand out to me when I look back on my life. Like that year is always gonna be like, oh, it was that year. And I think I lost like 30 pounds in a really short time span. I don't know if it's time, but a really short time span. And my dad was just like, Maya, you know, therapy. You need to like, or let's get you a therapist. Let's do this. And I didn't want to take up the opportunities. Like I cared, but I didn't care enough to like really take the steps to figure out what was going on. And then freshman year of college, I was not as bad as that moment, but you know, I was having a moment, and they offered a therapist. They were like, okay, there's a therapist on campus, and that just kind of fell through. And even though I got myself out of the rut and like I got to a better spot, those moments still do come back. Just because you're doing better doesn't mean you won't have a bad day again, or a bad moment. And even though I know how to, I feel like I have some more tools to like help me out, and like I learned from those past experiences. I feel like if I would have taken the opportunity to really go speak to somebody, or even if, because I personally have not been diagnosed, but I haven't also went to go get diagnosed with it, like go see. So I feel like if I would have done that a lot sooner, I probably would be doing a lot better right now. And not to say that I'm just in a horrible spot right now, but I do have those points in time where it takes me a minute where I'm like, oh fuck, here we go again. All right, what can I do? What did I do last time? And of course, you know, I get myself out, but then it's gonna come back again one day. So
it's really good you say that too, though, because like you said, I wish I would have been proactive about the shit when I was younger, but like I said, I didn't know what I was looking for. And I never went, like I'm glad that y'all went and y'all found that stuff was like wrong or thought that stuff was off and went to go get those tests. I was straight to the psych ward. Like I would go in and I would tell them these things, and my ass is in a mental hospital in the next like moment, and then I'm freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, well, I shouldn't have said this and I shouldn't have said that. Like I shouldn't have been real, but I'm being real. Like you gotta advocate for yourself. And a lot of the time, like I'm in such a better spot with my people now too, that I've been able to talk to them and tell them how I feel, because in February, just recently, that's the first time that I actually like felt that I had the balls to do it, and that scared me. Like it's gonna get to a point to where you're going to scare the fuck out of yourself. Like I said, I've been on the end of should I stay or should I go way too many times for comfort, and that's what really made me get on my shit this time around, because I'm not trying to sit here and say that like it's a selfish thing. No, like I said before, people are sick, bro. Like mental illness is just that, an illness. So I hate when people with depression and anxiety and, you know, schizophrenic, bipolar, whatever, are just made to be, you know, attention seekers and this and that because of how they choose to leave. 9 times out of 10, people have tried medication. People have tried therapy. They've tried confiding in people, and nothing works. So when it's just you in silence in your brain, sometimes the silence in your brain is gonna win. And I know that because it's almost taken me a lot of times, bro. And just said, so it wasn't for people like when I seen you at the block party and just seeing people's faces about it when they meet me. When I first met you for the first time, and people get so excited, like y'all are just people across, even you. I know we haven't talked several times, but y'all are faces I've seen on social media several times, bro. And like I'll see y'all post y'all's videos or do whatever, like little small accomplishments. It's like, damn, that shit I want to live for. Like, even if we don't talk in the next 5 years, I want to see what your kids like. I want to see what you do with your degree. I want to see what you do with your organizations. Like, you gotta find something worth living for, even if it's not your family or your kids, because people with kids kill themselves. Like, it's hard, bro. You gotta find something that is worth you being here, because like you said, it's gonna come back eventually. Right now, I feel okay. But when I go home and I'm alone and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm up and I'm starving because I'm hungry, but my mental's telling me that you don't need to eat, bro, like, you gotta find you something that's gonna keep you moving, because it's gonna come a day, bro, like where it comes back out of the fluke, out of nowhere, and that can be your moment. You just gotta trust yourself and know that you deserve to be here. So like, just do what you gotta do. So I'm really glad that medication's like working out for you and doing what it needs to do, because just you saying that, somebody could have heard that just now and be like, damn, that didn't work, let me go back and try something else. Like, I'm all for it. Speak it, say it.
And that's why I'm
Like,
really glad that y'all are being transparent and being vulnerable right now. And I'm appreciative, and because you could possibly be helping.
Keep going. I just have a topic idea that you guys are talking about.
Okay. Yeah, but you could possibly be helping somebody. All the people who just came on here, they could have, even if they took one piece of what they heard in here, it could be helping them. So I want to thank y'all. But
on that one, on a little topic of like therapy and stuff, I have a little comment. But yeah, everything is trial and error. Like, if you can hear like the little trial and error of like medications and trying to figure it out. Therapy, like, I had a little rock bottom plan time, and please don't let yourself get, like, if you feel any type, like, even if you think it's just gonna be a temporary feeling, even if you just tell one person it can be closer, let somebody know. You don't gotta tell everybody, you don't have to go straight to therapy, you don't gotta go straight to, but like, just let somebody, so you can at least, somebody's aware and like monitor how often am I feeling. Like, because yes, this feeling can be temporary, but if it's consistently reoccurring, then that's when like you kind of know that you need help, because like you don't want to sit there and hit rock bottom, because it's so much harder to try to pull yourself up when you're at the very bottom versus if you catch it sooner than later. Like, I hit my little rock bottom and I got forced to go to therapy. I went to like 4 different therapists before I finally found one. So don't think it's gonna be like a one and done. Like, there was one, I was sitting there looking at her and she was like, and I'm like, I just don't like you. Like, simple as that. Like, and switch to somebody new. There's one, the one I finally stuck with, the first 3 weeks, I was like sitting there, and I'm not gonna lie, it's because she was really stuck that I was with her, because she's like, well shit, we can just sit here, she said, I'm gonna get paid either way. I said, that's fine, because it's not even about me that's paying you. So like, and finally it became cool, like, because it's gonna take time to build out like that rapport, that relationship to where you're gonna wanna open up to them, but like, really, like, don't sit here and have like one bad experience and just call it quits. Like, you gotta try, like, even when I came to college, like, I utilized the campus health resources, and I went through 3 counselors in the counseling office, because everybody was trying to focus, like, until I found the one that not only related to me, but was wanting to focus on what I wanted to focus on, because it seemed as though, like, a lot of people were trying to, like, focus on other things other than what I was trying to talk about. Like, I would be sitting here talking about this, and they were talking about, well, let's talk about your substance abuse. I'm like, well, I'm not here for that. Like, I'm here for this. So, like, it is a trial and error, and, like, don't let it go too long that you're sitting here, like, when you're finally out of when, like, it's hard, like, even if you just tell one person, like, hey, I'm just feeling down today, I don't know, or I'm feeling like this and I don't know where it's coming from, because it really do be things where, like, sometimes I be thinking that, like, it really is just me. Like, some of the stuff I didn't even think, like, I thought it was just me being lazy or a procrastinator, like, because I would want to do stuff, I would want to do stuff, and, like, mentally I want to do, but, like, my mind and my body were on 2 different pages, like, and I was falling behind in classes, like, and I thought, like, or, like, I'm somebody, like, as soon as I get off of, like, the schedule, like, spring break, I'm sorry, everybody loves spring break, but, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, love spring break, but, like, that be the toll on me, especially as a college student, because that throws off my schedule, and now all of a sudden it's hard for me to get back on schedule.
This whole last semester, I was the same way. Like, my mom wanted to do it. My mom wanted to get up and go to class and do all this good stuff, and my body was not.
And couldn't
Like, there was
emotional support that's your best friend. Like, I got a dog, and because I was struggling to get, like, I would literally stay in my bed for like 3 days straight and not get up to do nothing but piss and shit. Like, and then go right, like, not even eat, like, piss and shit, and got right back in the bed. Got a dog. Now I gotta get up because he gotta eat, and like, even if it's something that simple, like just taking like those basic steps. Like I said, like, I don't do medication, but I was doing lifestyle changes. Like, okay, I got a dog. he's gonna help me get up in the morning. So if I don't feel like doing shit for myself, like I do shit for this woman. Like,
One thing I would say, you know, everybody dreads their college roommate in that situation, but the beginning of the semester, I didn't have a roommate, and I felt like it was kind of harder because I don't know, I was just by myself. I got to stay in my room by myself. I got to isolate myself, and then getting a roommate who was also my friend. Her name's Tamika. If you're on here, hey. But she so she had to move in with me, and when she would get up, it kind of motivated me to get up a little bit more. Like having people around me who were doing things, I was like, okay, so since she's already up, I might as well get up too. We listen to music, we feel good, we get ready and go out about our day. But before she moved in, I would miss class because I would just be like, fuck it, I'll make an excuse, I'll email them, I'll come up with some grand excuse and they'll take it as long as I get the work done. But it's like, I need that interaction. I should have got up and went to class. I should have interacted with my professor or the people around me and just go to the cab, just get some social interaction. Because I probably would have made me feel better, but I couldn't actually get myself up to go and do it. But to have a roommate who was active and just always in and out doing things, it gave me, I was bouncing off of that energy. So I'm appreciative for that experience.
And when I listen to everything that y'all said, which has been very beautiful and just honest with articulating y'all's perceptions as women, I can really only think of intersectionality because health isn't a monolith and everybody's an individual. We all are of each other. We are reflections of each other. So what might work for you might work for me. But because we have that individual psychosphere, we have to find and go within ourselves and test these different things. Now, when you get into the word pharmacy comes from the Greek word like pharmaca, and it means healing herbs, poisonous medicine. And earlier I said the difference between medicine and poison is the dosage. What a lot of people don't know about pills, because I'm in agriculture, every single pill has been synthesized from a plant. There would not be any form of pill that you take if it did not come from a plant. So oftentimes, if you're not okay with modernization of these herbs, the word pharmacy means herb, go get an herb. You don't also have to smoke weed. There are other herbs that have, indigenous cultures have smoke, that have a euphoric, mullein mixed with rose petal and lavender is a good mixture. I smoke that mixture all the time. It helps with your mind with clearness, it helps with clarity. You always want to have a good relationship with different things. If you feel like, it has a slight psychoactive element, but and we just need to really figure out for the individual who's ever out there struggling what works for you. You might need to be a person. I know for me, like, I like to read or I like to hop on the game and stuff like that. I'm very into fiction and things like that. I like to read comics and stuff. And I just know for me, what helps me get my mind off things. I know me, I do like to pray, but that's because the way I view prayer is a cosmic conversation. I view myself as the living temple of God dwells inside me. So I talk to myself a lot. I would actually encourage talking to yourself because talking to yourself is having love for yourself. You must have love for yourself and deal with those internal forces before you try to seek external help. Oftentimes, shadow work is very good. I know when I was dealing with my depression and things like that, I actually had a lot of weight issues. I used to be 325 pounds. When I went to K-State, I was on the track team, and I gained a lot of weight. Track wasn't something I really wanted to do. I wanted to play basketball, but due to injuries and stuff with my high school coach, I didn't get to play basketball at the next level, but I got to do track. But track was something I wasn't really into. I was just eating my feelings away. I'm lifting weight, so I'm not shredding the fat. I'm just putting muscle on top of it. So I blew up. And right now, I'm 206 pounds. So I lost 100, basically like over 100 pounds. And that journey, just dealing with like body dysmorphia. People coming up to me, calling me skinny, but my nickname was literally Big Dan for like a long period of my life. And I went through this journey to really understand myself and see myself. And when I would look in the mirror, I would look at myself in the mirror and I would just have full conversations with myself because I wanted to get to the root of the problems. And when I kept on asking myself these questions, I found that it helped me unsurface a lot of things that I was suppressing. And when we get into really the intersectionality of mental health, intersectionality is important because if you listen to all the women who have articulated their points, what do when you have different points and you connect them? You put a string. Eventually that string will make a web, a safety net. And then when you have a safety net, you have something that you can fall back on and something you can rely on. That's why intersectionality is important. I really want everybody that's listening to really accumulate all the knowledge that has been dropped and see where you fit in. You don't have to be like everybody up here. Your coping mechanisms might be totally different, and that's okay. And you just have to understand that. We have to understand that whatever it might be that get us through the day through moderation is okay. It really is. And when you break down what words are and what these things mean, you kind of realize that somebody want to take some pills, somebody want to smoke some weed. When you really get to the bottom line of it, it's the same thing because they're both herbs and they both synthesize messenger chemicals in your brain and stuff like that. Pick what you need. And I don't think you owe anybody really an explanation of how you get through the day because that's between you and the inner God that's inside you. And at the end of the day, as long as you're able to get up and exude love, if that's really all that matters, I really feel like that is the most important thing that I had to learn was to exude love. And as a man, we talk about men's mental health and things like that. When a man talks about love in such a passionate way, I've had people that have asked me, am I a gay man? I've had people ask me, am I into polygamy and things like that? Because I realized it is so shocking for the modern man to talk about loving and exuding love in a non-sexual connotation. We have to love each other. We have to exude love in all things. When I look at everybody here, I only see a reflection of myself. When I treat your neighbor how you want to be treated, how do I want to treat myself? If you don't love yourself, you don't treat yourself right, you're not going to treat others right. It's just that simple. It starts with you. And when we actualize those things, we realize that if we have community and grace towards one another because we are each other, then that's where people will feel more comfortable to talk and reveal these things. But we, in modern society, don't have grace towards each other. We're very rude and hard towards each other. And that's where love comes in, because love is having humility and respect for your next man and having empathy. There's been times, I'm like 6'3", 6'4". Oftentimes, short nigga syndrome, that is a thing. I'll be in a party.
It sure is.
Somebody will knock into me, step on my shoe, try to fight me. I've been in all situations.
You think you're short?
I have somebody, no, I'm saying I done had dudes pull out guns on me and stuff like that, and I literally just look at them. I walked away from so many situations because I exuded love to that person. I recognize that if he feels so emboldened to do that, or he's in that situation, something is seriously wrong with you. And all I can do is love you and pray for you. I can't understand you. And that's the one thing where people mess up, and that's why people are so afraid to voice themselves, because everybody thinks they know you. That is a lie. In my opinion, only the Most High can know you, because your soul is your mind. If we're talking about mental health, only God can see what's inside your head. But as humans, we don't have telepathy, we have empathy. And with empathy, you can resonate with your fellow man. It's not that you can read minds, it's that you can resonate with the person next to you and feel what they're feeling. And if we don't resonate with our neighbor, if we don't resonate with each other, then we're alienating each other. And that's why I really believe in showing grace and showing love and really understand, trying to not understand, but appreciate. When I listen to my friends vent and talk, I really have to change my dialogue, because I would say I understand, but then I have to step back. I really don't. I'm not them. I don't have the certain phenomenon and stimuli that changes what is your life. I'm Daniel Eugene Woods. You're X, Y, and Z. So with that being said, what I have to do is appreciate you and appreciate everything that you stand for and everything that you are. If somebody learns a new thing before I seen them, let's say I seen somebody last week, that last weekend they learned something new. If I see them again this following week, I don't know them. Because the last time I seen them, they did not have that piece of information in their head. The human is always constantly growing and evolving. That's why only God knows. So it's just kind of like with feeling like that people have to know you, or people feeling like they have to know you, that is a sign, in my opinion, of insecurity, and it's a sign of oversharing and trauma. And what sign of trauma is oversharing. I don't have a problem with it. There is not a problem with venting. There is not a problem with venting. But we have to be careful of selective venting and knowing who we're talking to. Because there are snakes in the grass. And the reason why people have such a hard time expressing themselves is because I know a lot of men have a hard time expressing themselves. I've been through this. I have expressed something to a woman who I thought was my friend, but I realized that she viewed me as less than a man or weaker because I'm expressing the things that I'm going through. And I've had a lot of women that I've been cool with or dealt with that has really changed my relationship with them because I realized that you really didn't respect me or honor me as a person. And when you really think about just being honest with yourself and with dealing with that, that's when I have to learn that I have to have love and grace towards myself because I can't let other people's perceptions of me and the things I go through define me. I have to define my own way and be my own man and stand on my own too. I have to have my convictions. And when you have convictions about yourself and you understand yourself, you appreciate yourself, you know yourself because only you can. You know what's in your head. You know what you're saying to yourself. Everybody else on the outside is just guessing. So with that being said, with everybody playing this guessing game, don't let their guessing game consume you and make you into all these things that you're not.
Because it will.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's crazy you say that though. Like literally, I just did some quick stuff. I'm just saying. Because I get so passionate about shit that it's talking forever. You gotta cut me off, literally. But no, like when you said like oversharing is a trauma response, bro. If I meet you on day one, you're gonna know my whole life story by the time we get out the elevator type shit. Like, and it's only because I don't mean to lay it all out there like that, but the way I view it is I didn't already told you everything. I didn't already said everything, so I'm leaving you no room to make up any assumptions, to tell me what it is and what it ain't, to tell me what you think I am. I'm literally telling you what I am, what I've been through, how I did it, the motherfucking ingredients I put into it. So there's no room for you to make up your own mind about me. And I guess that also comes from like growing up. I didn't have a lot of friends. It was literally just me. It was a defense mechanism, and I was always put into these low points just for looking a certain way or being a certain way or being weird or talking white or whatever the fuck it may be. Like it was always something wrong with me. So I grew up people pleasing and telling everybody everything just because like I didn't been lied on so much, I didn't been made out to be so much. I want to tell you who I am off the bat, so there's no room for you to tell me anything about me because I've already told you. So
okay, right. Because I feel like I spend a lot of my time trying to explain myself and I guess like a trauma response, like just explain myself so there's no room for you to think anything else, and then that got draining. Like that itself got draining.
It's tiring because
they're
everybody's not gonna always.
And that's not your business.
Yeah.
What other people think of you is not your business, and that's what I had to learn. And I had to stop explaining myself, and I just tweeted about this not too long ago. But what did I say? Basically along the lines of what I just said. What you think of me is not my business, and if you want to go off of hearsay, that is totally up to you, and it's on you if that you didn't get to know my true character.
I want you guys to talk about the topic.
Because
You gotta come over here.
No, I want you guys to talk about
No, you gotta come over here.
Has anybody ever experienced the you don't look like what you've been through, the you're a pretty girl, you're the funny friend, you're
All the time.
this or that, and so
especially when people learn like their well, I know like for me, like I think a lot of people get shook whenever they hear like my little childhood growing up story, like the way I carry myself, the way I move, when I do. They're like, damn, bitch, you're I didn't know that this time around. Like good, like because it doesn't matter, like because at the end of the day, like what happened here doesn't influence how I am here. And then like even going off how y'all said like the oversharing, which is why I think like sometimes I will overshare, sometimes I'm hesitant to share because like either way, even if I sit here and overshare, you're gonna take it how you want to take it. Like because at the end of the day, it's gonna be however you receive it. So I could say this, but you heard this, that, and the third, you're gonna take it it this way. So like, and that's why I got to learn, like, I can just shut up. There's a way you're gonna think what you think. I can sit here and defend myself while you're asking this question, but you already had your mind made up, and that's why you're asking the question in the first place.
I don't know because it's like I had to find that balance. Yeah, I still don't know the balance. Like, but yeah, I tend to overshare with some people.
You can't overshare too many people.
Yeah, but sometimes I do overshare.
Try not to overshare as soon as possible and wait until you know somebody.
My best friend, she hates that. She's like, bro, you know everything now. But in my head, I'm like, because she's very selective too. She's the one that kind of, she keeps me head on about a lot of shit because she just knows me. But it's just like you said, you don't. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I had the worst childhood in the world. No, I didn't. Like I said, the struggle we went through, I never saw it.
That's it. All that relationship stuff. That's the business you're supposed to use too. You're not always because your experience is still valid.
Yes, you're right. So it's
but you could have went through what you went through.
And I struggle with that too. And that's fuck. Y'all are amazing. I struggle with that so hard.
That's the only thing you've ever dealt with, and that's the most intense pain.
That's why it's so hard to navigate and to manage my mental health because it's like, dude, I can walk down Jefferson Street right now and be like, damn, what are you so sad for? But like literally, I don't know. Like it's in a lot of it, and I took a lot of my childhood with me, and I grew up with it. Like I automatically think when I meet people, you think I'm weird, you think I look like this, you think I do that, and it's like I dress the way I do, I act the way I do what I do because at the end of the day, I enjoy it. But I'll be sitting here lying if I said that I still don't seek people's approval. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. I did not grow up being chosen. I did not grow up being the it girl. I didn't grow up being picked. If you mind being all my friends up at the time, I was the last one every time. I was dark skinned with kinky ass hair, skinny, long arms, big ass head. Like I stood out, but not for the good reasons. And I grew up just wanting to be chosen and going through different men and women and just doing what I had to do to, maybe if I do this, then they'll pick me, or they'll do. I've had pick me syndrome bad, but not for what it's coined as in today's society. I just want to be chosen, and the number one person that was supposed to choose me didn't. So I grew up like, damn, my own dad didn't even see me as valid enough to want to keep me under his wing and raise me, and so my brothers did that shit. So it's like, I'm grateful to even have father figures, but that fucked me up, like all that shit. I like you said, it takes years to untrain your mind to think these things about yourself and be this way. I fear that I'm always going to be seeking validation no matter what I do, and I know I'll grow out of it with age, but it fucking sucks to be second guessing yourself every single day of your life, because even though I know I'm the shit, and I know that what I got going on is good, and I'm unique in my own ways, I know that 100%. But on this side, it's just like, damn, it's still not enough.
Everything you're saying, like I feel like I've been through it. Like I definitely grew up like my childhood. I feel like I was a people pleaser. Not if it was more so like another trauma response. Like I wanted to walk on eggshells because I didn't want to anger the people I cared about, and I feel like I was always angering the people I cared about. So it's like, okay, well let me do this good thing so they'll be happy, so then I can be happy. But then I kind of grew out of it. I'm in a stage now where I'm trying to be unapologetically myself, and I think I'm doing pretty well, but I still do want to be liked. I still want to make people happy, and so that is a battle within myself. Like, okay, fuck these people, fuck everybody. I'm gonna do me, which is true, but then at the same time, oh shit. But at the same time, yeah, it's like fuck these people. I'm gonna do what I want to do, but at the same time, I still care. I still do care about what people think of me, but not in the toxic aspect where it's like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. But it's like, damn, they don't like me. I'm not about to do the most to like make them like me, but I wish, I wish they would get to know me a little bit more. I wish they would talk to me. And that's been my main issue these past few years is like, I'm not explaining myself anymore. Like, I'm not about to go out of my way to explain myself, but it does still hurt my feelings that people don't want to take the time to get to know me and make up their own. Listen, I've heard rumors about myself where I'm like, damn, I did that. Or that's how I am. Like, people think I'm a bitch sometimes. People think that I'm not going to get into that. But people do have these perceptions of me, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, hey, you, I know what you heard about me. But that's not it. But to say that it doesn't hurt my feelings that people don't want to get to know the real me, it does hurt.
Yeah. I think this I'm on the opposite side. I kind of use it as motivation because I take a lot of pride in people not knowing me, especially like being such an influential person and being a leader. I'm constantly getting attacked. I'm getting bashed. Like people love going around saying who I'm fucking and what I'm doing. Whole time it's a whole ass
When you're a
lie.
prominent person and wherever you're at and people know you, it's like
They're trying to break you.
you're trying to break you. They're trying to see exactly what will make you, because you seem to be this, just like you said, you got it together, even though you might not, but you're always gonna present yourself like you do. Like you're always gonna you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna stay in the same space. And I've noticed that about you. I've always noticed that about you. You are a leader, and but I get that. Just being a person that is in the spotlight. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get attention, and you're out there because you're doing your thing. You're being unapologetically yourself, and people get uncomfortable because they're not to that point in their life.
And
You don't care, and the thing is, you don't care if you have the attention or if you don't, but you naturally get it because you're being yourself, you're being authentic, and people don't fuck with that. People are like, fuck.
Some people hate the fact that you're doing shit that they're too afraid to do, and it's crazy you said that, and I love that she's saying that shit about you because, like you said, from the time I lock my phone to the time I unlock it and start doing everything else that I post, people just think I guess I'm always dancing and doing all the shit that I post about, but there's so much more to that shit, and it shocks people when I talk about what we're talking about here, because like, you'll never notice it. I know, because that's not what I want you to see. I'm posting what I want you to see.
Like, let's take my social media, for example. They see me posting, and
When
I
you're
was
looking good.
when I was good, and I take pride. It took a lot. Listen, it took a while to get to this point, this confidence level. It took me a while, so I'm gonna flaunt it. I ain't gonna lie.
because it's a journey.
It's a journey, and I'm proud of it. So I'm gonna post whatever I want to post. I'm gonna say whatever I want to say because there's a time where I didn't feel like I could say what I wanted to say. So I'm gonna be unapologetically myself, and people see that, and people hate it.
But that's because they're not dealing with what's inside.
Yeah, I'm doing what they want to do.
They're sitting here and they be posting because they sitting here trying to prove something to somebody else while you're posting on here for yourself.
I'm posting for
That's what they
myself.
don't get. So they're over here, oh, she's sitting here trying to get attention. No, that's what she be posting for. That's not what I'm posting
And
for.
I feel like I'm a pretty humble person, but I do take pride in the fact that I'm gonna say what I want to say, do what I want to do, wear what I want to wear, and I'm gonna flaunt it.
Period.
And that's just that. But like I said, I feel it. I might not react to it. I might not show you that I feel a certain type of way, but that's when people are like, oh, I got her, and they can like dig a little deeper. I might not ever show that, but I do feel that.
Oh my God, I
And the
take rejection and failure real
Really fucking
I'm
hard.
very bad about taking
Really
rejection
hard.
and failure.
No
Like very similar to like why you like when you said yours, I'm like, girl, that's me too. I can take rejection and failure very hard. And then like even when we talk about the little like the people like be shook off like how we really are, like versus what they thought we were gonna be, and it's like and how you're talking about like motivation, like that's how I use that motivation. Cause I'm like, yes, I've been through this, but without this, I wouldn't be who I am today, or I wouldn't have gotten to where I am because of this struggle, it made me step the fuck up and do this, that, and the third. Versus if this wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have stepped the fuck up, and I probably never would have had the opportunity to step the fuck up and learn these things. Like,
I like how you mentioned like what you said, like you dancing and stuff like that. People don't know the real you, like you can have these type of conversations. Oh, we're already okay. What happened? The live ended? This is a good live.
Damn.
oh, that's a max.
No, we for 1 hour I had to start.
All right, we'll wrap up.
And we're
We're back. But yeah.
That's funny. I gotta text her.
I like how you mentioned that and how they don't like you can have conversations like they don't know that because this is all that you may see, but you haven't had the time to really get to know me. You don't know me.
And I think that's
So of course you just I'm not just gonna have this on my surface all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I think I literally wear my scars. You see them, you don't, and I just feel like that's when people be like, well, damn, maybe she ain't happy all the time, or whatever the fuck, or before they even healed. At the fucking block party, I had my arms out, even though it wasn't that hot out, but I'm just like, bro, I don't have the mental capacity to keep hiding my struggles from everybody. It's just what the fuck, like, that's what I'm saying.
That's why
Like,
suicide be happening because people feel the need to hide these
People feel the need
things.
to
And you're like, well,
put
why
themselves
did this person come to me, or why did this person? It's like because you didn't create a space to where they could feel comfortable to say those things. Like,
and even then, that goes back to to, because there's lots of victim mindsets when it comes to mental health and suicide and things like that, and that's why I keep saying it. Like, as much as I got all the support I feel like I need, if it comes from family to friends to my therapist to my psychologist, it's there. But it's so hard, like I said, you sit in that shit for so long, and it's like, it's me. I'm okay, I can sit there and lay it out. It is me. I don't have enough love for myself 7 days out of the week to be like, bitch, keep going. You got it. You good. I do this shit because it keeps me going. If I wasn't creative, if I wasn't creating, if I didn't bake, if I didn't do what I did, bro, I spit on everything, I would not be here. And I love my mom. I love my family. I love my friends. But sometimes, bro, that's not enough. Like I said, being on the end of should I stay or should I go? And am I working enough? Will people miss me if I'm not here, bro? Like, being on the end of that is very hard. That's why I say you gotta find something. And and it goes back to what you said, when you said that if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. On the contrary, I'm a person who lacks a lot of self-love, but I promise you, I'll pour into you like my cup's full. But you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not okay, I promise you, God, nobody else around you will be cool. You are no good to anybody else if you're not okay. I don't care what type of front you put on, what type of face you put on, what type of mask, whatever. People see straight through me at this point. Like, because I'll put it out there when I'm not okay, so people know when I'm just faking it or when I'm just trying to make it through. That's my defense. That's how I get through my day to day. If you see it, if you recognize it, you see straight through me, so be it.
And that's why I was going to say that's why community is important, because relationships are balanced. So if you feel 40%, the people around you, the community that you built within yourself and around you, should understand to give you that extra 60, or maybe everybody can break it up. So you got 6 friends, they give you a dose of 10% of love that raises you for that day. And when I think about everything that y'all say, the number one word that comes to my mind is projection. Now, if I'm gonna go to an esoteric demonology perception on it, when you think about somebody saying something harmful to you and those thoughts then seed themselves and grow root in your mind, that is them cursing you. I wear this. This is the hand, the daughter of the virgin. There's like different. Every culture has this symbology. That's why I'm into symbology too. Like, I look at that cross-cultural connection. But I wear this for protection because I understand as I walk my truth, there are people that don't understand me, so they project on me. They make up lies. They spread rumors. They don't really know how I function, so they gotta come up with some conclusion. I was the type of person, I remember when I had my nose pierced, I'll have people say things to me, especially on K-State's campus, because I don't care, it's a very small-minded campus. I'll hold my nuts on that. I'll have Negroes who come from 2-parent households, I have all the shoes, all the clothes, question where I was raised, where I came from, all my whole life. I only had my mom. I had to go to the flea market to get shoes. I was in middle school, the bottom of my shoes was coming off. I almost died 7 times. And I have some punk that thinks because I carry myself a certain way that he knows me. That used to really grind my gears because I'm looking at you, you're soft, you're not a man without your clothes. Everything that you own makes you are weak. But I will have weak men who are questioning my masculinity because I stand so fucking 10 toes and they can't stand that shit.
Cause they can't do it.
They can't do it. And what I had to realize is people looking at me and being like, damn, this nigga got a nose ring in it and he's talking articulate. Ooh, he must have grew up in the suburbs. Nigga, I don't got a dime to my name.
You got a book and knowledge and a brain.
That's it.
You want to learn and absorb.
I be in school, going to the cafe, eating food like everybody else. I don't be eating out every day. But it's just the fact I realized that people will literally make up a whole illusion around you because they don't even want to get to know you. They just
because it's lessons that they can't understand why. So they make up their own conclusions because they have to have something to let their mind just be like, oh, okay, that's the reason.
Because
like, why do you have to have your own? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you need an answer though? Yeah. Why do you need to know?
Because they think they know you. They want to know you because people have envy and jealousy. Envy.
I think we're preaching today.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of shit. I feel like
I love
the fact that you have this this platform and your topics are so diverse and they're so like they touch on so much shit, and I really enjoy that because at the end of the day, like with every person you have on, and granted I don't have time to watch the whole thing sometimes, but like what I do catch from everyone, it's just like there's so much I feel like we hold back as humans or just as souls in general. There's so much that we hold back because we, one, don't have the platform, two, aren't comfortable enough in the space to even speak our piece, or just it's just so much. You've been unheard for so long, it's just like damn, and nobody's really told what I gotta say now. When you do, like I love the different perspectives from y'all being in school to just your own passion that you learned from other people that you grew up with to just me and my own stuff. There's so much that people can take away, and that's why this one was so important to me because I'm like, bro, it's so overlooked. It's so overlooked, and it's so. That's why that shit took 3 hours because it's like you can't. And it could probably go longer on a different day. But I'm just saying, like, there's so much to unpack when it comes to your brain, because a lot of people would just dumb mental health down to, oh, you need attention seeking. You need to go do this, you do that. You grew up with everything. What are you so sad about? Like, it's deeper than that. And I feel like until people, like the world in general, just takes that into consideration, it's different for people like this. It's a completely different story from somebody who's just sad all the time to being chemically imbalanced. It's a thin line. It's very thin, because if you don't take care of one, now you're stuck with the other one for the rest of your life. You gotta catch that shit early, and it's sometimes it's a lot harder, and people don't have people like y'all, people like you guys to talk to or to just notice the signs and just let it build up. But like seriously,
just understand.
You know when you about to sneeze, so you know when you about to go off. You gotta catch that shit. Like that was a really bad tit for tat analogy, but y'all get what I'm saying. Take care of yourself.
I mean, I catch my sneezes because if I
Do you
sneeze,
feel me?
somebody
Like,
like,
you
oh, sneeze on me, I get it.
Yeah, so it's just like you gotta.
Like you may like they kind of like say like, oh, like you're just attention seeking. I'm like, that's again like where
That's why people
being support for others, like we have to be self-conscious that we're not turning it into being about us. Because if people sit here and be like, oh, you're just attention seeking, like a lot of times like parents, like of course y'all are parents, like that's them not wanting to, because they feel like, oh, because we have this happening that they failed in some way as a parent. It's like,
That's
no,
not
you
on
didn't
you.
fail as a parent for me to have this chemical imbalance. Like, you know what I mean? Like for this to happen, and that's where like, or like even people like have, I guess you're weighing like the suicide, topic of suicide, like people like, oh, well, like, I was trying to talk around, like, well, you gotta understand that just because you felt as though you were providing for this person in a way that you thought was beneficial doesn't mean it was coming off to them as being beneficial. Or like going back to a little, yes, you did this and the third, but you don't outweigh my own mind and have my own perception of what is going on.
Or
Like you can sit here and say that you love me, like I can know, but like something in my brain is just not clicking that the love is there. Like I can be surrounded by people and
that is
everything.
love language though.
Yeah,
like you're loving me and you're showing me that you care in your love language, but you're not adapting to mine. You want to help me, but you're not even trying to learn how I need to be helped.
Yes.
You're doing it how you would probably want to be
Yes.
helped, but you're not sitting here so like, okay, I get that you care, but you don't care enough because you're not trying to learn how I.
Man, I want to hug you. You trying to give me $50? I mean, $50 would be nice.
Hey.
Because I never get a hug. I can't squeeze me tight and you slide the $50 in my back. I'll take it, but that's
Well,
important.
going into that because I like what you said earlier, how you said like you need to find something. Both of you said you need to find something. You said yours is praying. What is each of your like ways to, I guess, cope or get your mind off things or just, you know, make you feel at ease, at peace? What is that thing for you? Because that also might be someone else's thing.
Mine is also like probably like religion and spirituality, like for real. 'Cause, like but what sucks for me is that I'm willing to use it as a last resort, and I need to get better about not using it as a last resort.
Right.
Because I'll be last minute, okay, Lord, like you see I'm here, like I'm on last straw, and I need to learn how to meditate because I'll be like, you know.
Seriously, meditation, like I even had to correct a Christian about this because Isaac went into the desert, I believe, and meditated, and so did Christ when he went to the forest for 40 days. Meditation is sitting down with these thoughts, and it's not trying to silence your mind, it's sitting within the chaos and being okay with it. Life is turbulence. Every day is cause and effect. You have no control of the things that happen outside of your sphere of influence, but you must learn how to guide yourself and ride the karmatic waves of life that are always crashing and burning. And when I would sit and I would think about these things, I would realize that, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons why people have a hard time meditating, praying, going outside, seeing a therapist, whatever, or getting medicine, whatever they need for them, is because of society. I really emphasize grace and having compassion towards your niggas, your girls, your family, all that shit, because we're not in a normal society. Do y'all understand that people, even just a millennia ago, they did not wake up and think about bills. They did not wake up and think about, do I need gas in my car? All those things, whether you realize it or not, subconsciously add up to you not thinking about yourself. There are people that can literally think about their sports team, their job, and whatever other type of hobby they have, and that can literally consume their whole life till they die. They never even ask themselves a question. And then if you believe in spirits and shit, that's how you have purgatory or the land of hungry ghosts and things like that, because they never found themselves. There are literally people that never dig deeper because of the society that they live in, because of the socioeconomic infrastructure that they were born in, and then they just keep on repeating these cycles. They might even pass it down on to their children. This society, in no way, shape, or fashion, is not normal, and that's why I'm so against promoting the worldliness of society, because it will totally make us lose ourselves. We are losing ourselves in material, and that is the reason why mental health is so bad. Mind over matter. I don't know if y'all ever heard that. When my mom was in the army, she told me mind over matter. But we live in a society where it's matter over mind. Now, psyche means soul. Your mind is your soul. So it's soul over matter. We're spiritual beings. So my soul should be above all the physical implications that keep me down. But now we live in a society where matter matters. Money matters. Your car matters. Your house matters. Bills matter, but not humans. Homelessness should not exist. That is a construct of society. If homelessness did not exist, people would not get up and go to work. It is a condition that is allowed by the oligarchs who run our society because they want your sad, depressed ass to get up and go to work, even though you hate yourself, even though you hate your job, even though you hate the people there. They bully you. They microaggression you. They tear you down, and the society puts you in a situation where you constantly have to deal with it. What people don't understand, men always talk about demasculation, but demasculation comes from, really, in my opinion, society itself. We go to school, you're getting questioned. They're questioning you. These teachers putting black boys in ISAP and shit for the whole day. I'm a grown natural man. But if a police comes and thinks I'm doing something, even though I'm a natural man, I have to let this other grown man manhandle me. That's not correct. And the natural world and natural law, if a man touch me, I can touch him back, because that's the equivalency of it. I'm not trying to promote violence, but I'm saying we are not practicing natural things. These police are not even community leaders. They're not even of the community. So we just have people touching each other, barking orders at each other, manhandling each other with no type of fucking relationship. That is insane. And the more that we keep on normalizing it, the more we're going to continue to see people mentally break. The inflation, that too cool trying to fake being rich. Everybody want to be fly. Nigga, if you don't tell the truth and talk about how a bag of apples is $10,
Oh my
what are you
God.
talking about?
$10.
Milk is like $3.
The
Gas is about to be $6. There has been a 37% increase in inflation. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. It's okay to admit that you broke. It's okay to admit that society is kicking your ass, because this shit is not normal for nobody.
It is
But
okay to
everybody.
move in with your fucking peoples. I had to say that. I had to get it out. I had to get it off the chest. Sorry to interrupt you. Everything you just said is so fucking powerful, because we're ignoring the important shit, bro. Like, people are so fucking sad because the world is fucking hard to live in right now. It's expensive. You want people to go to college and do all this other good shit, but y'all don't want to forgive their student loans. Y'all don't want to do all this other shit. Y'all don't want to put gas in their car to get to school and get home. Y'all shun the people for fucking moving in back with their parents. Shit's hard. If you have parents that are welcoming you back into their home, fucking go. Like, that's a room
society has put this idea that if you need to accept help, that is an issue.
Yeah.
And so that's like, and that's why people are going to sit here and dig themselves in these holes and not move back home. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm one of the hard people that are going to sit here and refuse to move back home because I say it's working backwards, even though it's not. It's making sure that I'm not working so far backwards that I end up on my ass. Like,
And to piggyback off of the needing help, that is a big problem that the black community has, is admitting that we need help. I often have people associate therapy with white people stuff, or they say we always on welfare. Well, let me tell you about something when trying to compare yourself to an Anglo-American. Number one, white women and white men, respectively, are on more social welfare and economic assistance than any black person. And we're all in Kentucky. There are more white people on welfare in the state of Kentucky than there are black people. But we're always stigmatized as welfare queens. We all on welfare. Even affirmative action. Affirmative action actually puts more white women and gay white males in high positions than it actually does minorities. If y'all would wake up and actually love yourselves, have grace for yourselves, stop hating on yourselves, and actually be honest, you will realize that black community deserves all the help. We need all the resources. We talked about slavery and stuff earlier. Dude, a lot of people don't understand indentured servitude was still slavery because they stripped their minds of knowledge. They did not know how to read. So these people were still in binding contracts and they were not getting paid. So you can argue that slavery went all the way up to the early 19th century, 1905, 1910, things like that. When you get into black culture, when you get into black college Greek culture, when you get into Harlem Renaissance, when you get into Black Wall Street, that shit is only, we literally only gave ourselves 50, 40 years before we integrated with the people that was eating us, raping us, burning us. The black American has never realized, do y'all not understand that we be comparing ourselves to the Asian demographic, the Mexican demographic, all these different demographics that had the time to build community in their own lands before immigrating over here. They did not have to deal with the social, economic bullying and tactics that got us where we at today. We need to stop being so hard on ourselves as a community. Do y'all realize that we didn't even love ourselves or understand what a black man was or what a black woman was, and we integrated with people that literally looked at us as less than as beasts, as slop? Do y'all not realize that that is what destroyed us? Why you think there was the white flight? We got black people in the 50s and 60s dying to move into white neighborhoods, affinity for whiteness. We got college degrees and left our neighborhoods and stuff like that. We started selling grandma's house because we had no equity or stock in ourselves. They literally got us as soon as we got free and literally put us in a box, and we have not been healthy since. I'm a full advocate that we integrated way too damn early. We needed at least a century or two to ourselves. The Afro-American, the Afro-Asiatic American needed about 2 to 3 centuries to heal.
I think about that often because we had that conversation freshman year, and at first I was like, "What are you talking about, Daniel?"
We weren't at home like where our ancestors are in Africa, and we're sitting trying to white people, we're sitting trying to conquer.
And then like on top of that, you mentioned like economically too. Like at first we're spending money with our own community.
$20 trillion.
And then when we got integrated, okay, now we're going to white boxes. We're giving money to. We're not putting money back into our community.
They hate us. They let black women die. They literally misdiagnosed children. They misdiagnosed black men. And that's why we have such a terrible stigma with health, with medicine, because they have literally disenfranchised us and wounded us from all these services since we integrated into large overarching society, and we have never addressed it. The problems are not gone. Like I'm sitting here with the shooting. That literally, when you think about digital lynching and mental health, this is something I talk about all the time. Digital lynching. What is digital lynching? Well, when a racist white person will go to a lynching, they will take a picture of it to put in the newspaper for the blacks that was not there to view it, to spread fear. So what do you think is the same thing when every time a black person gets slain or killed unjustly or in a mass shooting, we are literally lynching ourselves. That's why, in my opinion, I'm aware. I don't post nothing. I'm connected. I'm in group chats. I'm in Telegram. I'm connected with activists all over the United States of America, and they tell me stuff. But I'm never going to post that crap because I'm not about to lynch my fellow brother. I'm not about to put fear and deceit in his mind. We're constantly making ourselves afraid. We are constantly lynching ourselves. We are constantly we're engulfing ourselves in fear. And they take our fear and have the nerve to make infographics where they compile all the death of the last 3 years and just put it in our face because they want us mad. I woke up after the Breonna Taylor protest. Why? Because I was in there getting my ass kicked. Well, people having to put milk in my eyes. I'm crying and shit. I'm fucked up. My friend got her car. Like, they was shooting niggas' windows out and shit. And I learned that Louisville Metro made $3.4 million them 2 months of overtime with policing. Break it down. If everybody's going to stores and those same stores fund the infrastructure that is policing us, and then us protesting is giving the police money, we just gave them niggas hella fucking money with no repercussions. The cop got off, and that's what the other thing they do. They give them a weak ass charge, get them out public eye, then they get them off. And they don't actually serve jail time. So what did we do? Everybody that mobilized during those 2 years, Breedway, all that, what did we do but give Louisville Metro money? Why do we continue to wound ourselves?
So
Why?
how do you think we should have went about that?
My big opinion is like real talk. We need to get off social media because think about it. That white boy came and could kill them people in Buffalo because he had data. We give them data. We tell them where we at. We tell them what we're doing. I will literally see people that have great, brilliant ideas. They will map it all the way out in a tweet.
And then be in the
thread. Yeah, somebody steal it or why can't my plan function? Well, if you're a known black speaker or activist or whatever, projective consciousness, you literally have white agents analyzing your social media. They're putting negative thoughts towards your dream. Oh, this nigga ain't ready to do this. You're literally giving the enemy ammo to take your dream down before you even actualize it. We need to stop.
To piggyback off of that too, when it comes to phones in general, like you said, people will have brilliant ideas. I see it often. Brilliant ideas, great marketing tools, all this great stuff, and it's listed from point A to point B down to Z of how I'm gonna do it, where I want my resources to come from, how much money needs to be put into it, blah blah blah. It's on the fucking TV by next week. Like,
man,
not even put your phone down in a sense of
they love Black
telling
Twitter
people shit. Because when they say, I'm about to move in silence, but you so fucking loud with the silence, like, and I've been a victim of, like I said, I can't say I've been perfect. All I can say is that I'm growing. I've been one of those people that have had so many great fucking ideas, and I see the next bitch do it, and I can't be mad at her because I gave her the tools of what she needed. You gotta, even when it comes to putting your phone down in that sense, it comes to a point where there's people getting shot every single day. There's just certain points in time where somebody recorded it and it picked up and it took off. It's so much, there's only so much a person, and even a black person, because these people could easily be one of us. I don't give a fuck how dark or light you are, it can be one of you. The boy that did, the man that just killed on Friday, to put it there, rest in peace to him. But I'm just saying, like, there's only so much we can absorb of that before we get mad and get angry and want to go right and want to go blue. And do everything else in between. You gotta shut it out sometimes too, because that's affecting your mental health. Like I refuse, and even though it is scary, I can't continue to wake up and be scared of walking out of my house and being next, and being the next hashtag, or my nieces and my nephews being the same. Well, my niece comes to me every other day. I'm not black because I have a white mom. Yes, you are black. Your problem is black. I'm tired of explaining to my nieces and my nephews that they are valid as black women and black boys because they don't look the part. Like,
who? Maya? I'm
just saying, like, and I don't
listen,
that's a whole other topic too. I'm just saying there's so much in the media right now that's meant to piss you off. And if you don't do the right things with that anger, they setting your ass up. You couldn't be the next one in handcuffs or whatever the fuck. Because people are mad and people are angry. Like,
well, like you said, when you're absorbing that take a step back, I mean, I'm sure you two remember, like, back in high school, like, I feel like, you know, I was pretty on top of it. Like, every time something happened, I was on it. I was posting about it. I was trying to get my voice out there and letting me know I thought I was doing a good thing, which, I mean, it wasn't a bad thing, but then it started to drain the fuck out of me because I was absorbing that. I was absorbing all the negativity, and even though, although it needed to be said, like, I'm not saying that, like, I love being an activist and I love just being a voice, and yeah, but you still activists still need to take breaks. They need to take time and they need to step away because it does fuck with your mental a lot when that's all you see and that's all you're talking about and that's all you're thinking about, and it got pretty hard. And I don't think I've been as active, and I felt bad for it for a long time because I'm like, damn, I'm not doing as much as I think that I could be.
You gotta take care of you.
But I had, yeah, and then being in college and just trying to figure myself out, trying to learn myself again, and you know, just find myself. That is still a part of me, and acting is still like a part of who I am. But still, at the same time, I needed to take care of other parts of me.
And see, I was about to put this on my close friends last night, but I didn't because, you know, I'm not. I don't really post nothing on my close friends no more. Social media don't know. But I smoke so much because I escape reality, and all the shit we just talked about is literally our reality, and that shit is so mentally draining. And to wake up every day and know that we're put in this oppression that is systematic and it's not going nowhere for a while because it's gonna take so damn long to do it. And it just like it kills
yourself at some point, but not like completely, like don't just like write it off completely, but like you do have to separate yourself at some point because it is something that's gonna take time. It is something that's not gonna happen overnight. And of course everything helps. Every protest, it's getting the word out there, it's getting awareness. We still at the same time.
We still in the same position.
We're in the same position, so don't kill yourself trying to
fix the fucking system.
One of my biggest pet peeves on social media, the repost if you're against yada yada yada. I can see this. That is one of my biggest pet peeves.
It's a trend.
That's exactly what
And those are the people that really truly don't care.
Yeah.
The ones who are posting it, they're people I know personally. I know you don't give a fuck about this.
Because I'm not looking to see if you reposted this shit or not.
Right.
But it's like, what is this supposed to be helping to do? You're if anything, like, it's not helping. Like you said, like, it's just bringing up more. So, like, why? I don't know.
The trendy shit is
Social media,
The trendy shit.
Like,
People hop on anything and think it's trending. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like it's okay because at least it's bringing awareness to people and it's bringing. Yeah, I'm glad it's bringing awareness, but it's like also at the same time once this dies down.
yeah, then what? And even then, I was saying, like,
No, we know that.
Yeah,
It's like, okay,
for y'all.
thanks for bringing awareness to it, but then after it dies down, it's not a trend anymore. You're not going to get the attention that you're not the person you thought you were. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of people supposed to be like have like a hero type of complex.
Yeah.
Like they want to play
Feel
hero.
better about themselves.
yeah, I meant it like that, and I also meant though people wear this shit like it's an accessory. Like, in mental health in general, even what we got going on, all of it, I feel like 100% ties into each other. People aren't wearing these shirts because it looks cute. People aren't wearing. I seen a necklace the other day in the store. I forgot where I was, but it literally had like an anxiety. It's a necklace that said anxiety on, like glittery and shit. Ain't nothing cute and glittery about shaking and being scared to fucking wake up or get up or walk out the house. No, there's nothing cute about that. There's nothing cute about somebody's sister being on somebody's shirt. There's nothing cute about 4 babies not having their father anymore. There's nothing cute about that. This is literally our world, that people can't have to either choose to put gas in their car to get to work or put food on their table to feed their fucking kids, bro. Like, there's nothing cute and trendy about this shit. Like, if you're posting it for the awareness, then cool. But I know several people that, like, just like you said, I can see who's kids, da-da-da-da. Y'all don't give a fuck until it directly affects you, and that's why we can't get nowhere, because everybody's waiting for the shit to touch right here before they want to get the fuck.
You should have wanted to. You should have
wanted to care when the shit happened.
Yeah. I know somebody. Of course, I'm not gonna say any names, but I know somebody. They back in like high school. They was very. Max, I'm about to know.
Why was I about to bring this person up?
But see, y'all
Are you about to talk about?
I was about to earlier.
Because I was just about to say, like, some something also is just like everybody hops on the trend because like someone that we both know and care about, when some stuff happened and like everybody was worried about them, everybody was putting it out there, this, that, and the third. But then when something bad happened and it was streamed to look negative on them, their loyalty dropped. And like it's mentally draining because people come to me, you see that person did this, you see, and I'm like, that's still my dog. That's still my dog.
Listen, here. I will give the benefit of the doubt. I will give people this, like, you know, they might be, what he did was not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth of it. But
That don't take away from.
But yeah, it was not okay. But
They don't even
it doesn't. You don't know. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna change it.
Okay.
But just know, like, bro.
But
people can have
my main
loyalty
point was
to
it.
stuff.
That was my point. It might not be okay, but you think that I'm gonna hate this like a person that I know.
It was still a bigger issue.
What?
Yeah, there's a bigger issue at hand.
Yes.
And that ties into the whole main topic.
We're focused on a symptom, we need to focus on the root cause of what the fuck is going on. And
Ding,
why we
ding, ding.
ended up here in the first place. Because this should never
So
happen.
what's it called? Cancel culture?
Cancel culture.
We be canceling our own culture, ain't gonna be nothing left. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But that actually wasn't what I was gonna talk about.
Oh,
But it's okay. No, I'm glad that you brought that up though, because I was gonna bring that up earlier, and of course not to talk about anything that actually happened. But I'm just saying, just like people not taking or not, you know.
Concepts around it.
Yeah, it's okay. We're just gonna move past it. But what I was gonna bring was I know a person because you said like the trending stuff, like people just want to hop on a trend and play hero. I know a person who didn't support. She's black. And she didn't support the Black Lives Matter movement, but she's not cool black. And you know, she's also we were tripping and stuff like that. But then now that's more of a trend.
And everybody's like,
Yeah, now it's
yeah.
I'm black and I think this is wrong. And I get growing. I know you can grow and stuff, but I don't truly feel as if it was from the heart. I don't feel.
What are the odds that you just know?
It's like when a rapper or somebody's coming up in the game, nobody really jigs with them then, but the people. But then when they up there, everybody's like, I've been rapping with them since. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
They one song off they first mixtape.
Matt.
But
Jack Harlow. Everybody's like, yeah, I've been with Kentucky. You ain't never listened to him.
I will say this right now. I knew about Jack Harlow back in the day, but I didn't listen to
tag
him.
him so he can.
Right. I didn't listen to Jack Harlow back in the day. I knew about him and I respected him for what he did. I respect him because people did like his music and he was coming up with it. I'm like, okay, he's putting a Lil Wayne and it's still the same. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, I've been rocking with Jack Harlow. I have not. But I respect what he's doing and I respect what he's doing for the community and that he doesn't forget about Lil. I know that's a little side conversation.
Hey, but I love because he be repping KY. Be like,
Facts.
But speaking to tie it all like back in with that, I was talking with you earlier about just like when it comes to just people from the city and just the uplifting standpoint. I don't give a fuck where you're from. You can be from Wyoming, Minnesota, fucking Kentucky, because everybody feels like they can't make it here or be something here, bro. Like you can be something here. Jack, Bryson, fucking Muhammad Ali, everybody, every Static. Even though he's not here, people still rep Static and know Static. Oh, like you can be something coming from Kentucky. You don't have to move. Everybody doesn't have the funds and the resources to pick their whole life up and move away. Like you can be something in the city of.
Someone said y'all turning everything into a complaint.
What's a complaint?
I don't get it.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, you can be something coming from here. Just make the best out of what you got right now. And
Shoe just fits you.
Yeah. And she's giving a solution, so maybe.
Right.
and I was getting to a good point, but then that threw me off. But
I thought I was about to walk up to some good shit. And I was like,
no, but ultimately, like, what I just really lost my thought. You can be whatever the fuck you put your mind to. Like he was saying, like they all say, put that positivity into your mind. As much money as you put into these celebrities, and have as much love as you share and support everything. Share and support your friend's shit. Share and support your own shit. Advocate for yourself. Put yourself on. Like all that shit is very vital and key to having a healthy mental. You just gotta put it out there. No, you do it. She going. But
context to that. If you like explain a little
We
bit.
talked about a lot. So
We talked about it.
Yeah,
It's been very educational.
We've had a very good conversation, I feel like.
But this goes back into the whole.
Everybody takes away certain stuff. from
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
things. So, you know,
I mean,
I
at certain times-
respect it.
I'm not gonna hold that to you, but I just wish you would elaborate a little bit more, baby. Anyways, so okay, thank y'all so much for coming out and talking, and this really was a good episode. I do want to shout out my friend Kanaya, who she is the founder and president of Mentally You. It's an organization at Kentucky State University where, you know, she just gives people a safe space to come and talk about mental health and what just, you know, just different events that people just can have that space. That it's about, but she has different activities and different things that she does. She posts, so I'm gonna tag her in this so y'all can go check her out. But I'm really proud of you, and I'm so thankful for what you're doing for Kentucky State. And I just wanted to give you that shout out. But shout out to my amazing guests too, for being here and sharing and personal experiences. Other people I know probably could relate. And if you came in here, if you took one thing away from here, thank you for being here, and I thank y'all.
Shout out to Maya.
Yes, for
Literally just because y'all, she's so dope and inspirational, and she's literally blossomed. And thank you for creating this platform and creating this space to help other people. Like, it does not go unnoticed, and we love and appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you
love
for
y'all.
the space, and thank you for the space, and
Yes.
yes,
Creative Studio.
the behind the scenes.
Yeah, Creative Studios.
Creative Studios.
I will tag Creative Studios too. Y'all better go follow.
But yeah, you're so fucking dope for this, and I feel like this conversation definitely needed to be had, and y'all are dope too for being vulnerable and transparent, and yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We gotta work on you like a little ending thing where it be like,
I usually say, well, thank you for joining Dear Maya, and we're out. Something like that.